he's on the microphone, when he's not on the microphone, he's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he.
Feel that chill in the air?
Really?
You didn't think it was as cold today?
I mean, I think it's been warmer than the last,
couple days?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a cold week, that's for sure. I don't know. Today, I felt, stepped out of the house. Maybe I was just nice and cozy and warm inside.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Then I stepped outside and, oh, man. We, hey, we need rain. We do, but that'll warm it up. Wherever that's coming.
Yeah, I'm sick of it freezing and then me leaving here at the end of the day and it's sunny as hell.
Yeah, as hell. Sunny as hell. I'm sick of it. Hey, this is your time of year, you and Dave.
It's been sunny the entire time.
Yeah, but gray is so depressing. Yeah. Usually, this time of year is personally my least favorite. After Christmas, love the holidays, love New Year's. Thanksgiving to Christmas to New Year's, always fun. Then you get into the beginning of January and February. Usually it's rainy or gray and overcast. We don't see the sun forever. We've had the sun. This has been great. But obviously our weather cycles through. It goes through changes. We'll have some change at some point here, but not expected this weekend. We will have a jam-packed Friday show for you, as we always do. We will wrap this up today with Friday Fun and Games. We will visit at 9 o'clock with Brenden Nunes. We will talk about the NFC and AFC championship game. We will talk about the Sacramento Kings and the Denver Nuggets from last night, which, oh, wow, looks like it's the lead thing on SportsCenter this morning. But a lot of it's about that guy, Nikola Jokic. Not much Kings, though. We could talk about the fourth quarter. We'll have to talk about quarters 1 through 3 as well. We will get into that. We also will look ahead to this weekend for the Kings road trip as they continue into New York. They are probably already there by now, but man, I was a little surprised that they were leaving Denver to go to New York last night. So another late night for them. But let's see if they get ready for the Knicks. So we will be talking about that and many other things throughout the show today. Also, how last night in the NBA, not a good night overall for the Kings. Not, forget the head-to-head with Denver, the way that game went. But also the overall Western Conference standings. Like the night before when they beat the Warriors and had everything else basically fall right, last night was the opposite. But that's the way it works in the NBA. Each night's a little different entity. And so we'll discuss that on the show as well. We always encourage you to join in, send us some feedback, your conversations, whether it's on our text line. That usually just goes straight to us. Usually, I guess it always does. 339-1140. That's the text line. That's the text number to share your thoughts, your opinions, or like yesterday when everybody was sharing their acronyms for MEB, whatever it might be, 916-339-1140, or on YouTube. We're right there, Sacktown Sports. Check us out. While you're there, please hit that thumbs up. Makes Chris feel good. Makes me feel good.
It feels good.
It does feel good. Like Tony once said. But you could also have conversations there with us, with the chatters. People do that all the time. And it's kind of its own organism over there. You guys just live, you create, you have your own content, and you share your own opinions about the show, about life, about other things. So we do appreciate that. So feel free to chime in there. And again, we encourage those thumbs up while you're here. Thank you for that. Jason Ross, Christopher Laud, Carmichael Dave did we get a successful tweet, Chris? Did he make it there in that 100-mile-an-hour jet stream he was going to be in into London?
I haven't seen anything.
That is unlike Dave. I know Chris and I actually shared dinner last night. We did. You were here, watched some of the game. The High Flyer and I were in studio. You came by, and you did read me a tweet that David sent about the game. So he knew he was observing it, listening to it, watching it some way, shape, or form.
So his last tweet was from some sort of poll on which animals could beat you in a fight.
Okay, what are
the
our
difference
choices?
between voting between Brits and Americans?
Okay.
So it's just going through them and how they have different. I guess like the biggest one is only 42% of Brits think that they can beat a goose in a fight.
Oh.
And only 60% of Americans think they could beat a goose in a fight.
That was Dave's poll question? Or he had
no, it's like
poll results? I see.
Already done.
It's already been done. So the goose was the main theme of that?
Huh? Yeah, that looks like the largest split between Americans and Brits.
Okay. Huh.
Obviously, someone saying they could beat a goose in a fight has never seen an angry goose.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have always, I don't know if marveled's the right wording, but the people that like to, let's say they're at a national park or somewhere where, wildlife live, that's their home, and us as trespassers try to get close to animals. Some do. I just, right away, I think, what are you doing? One, you're on their territory. Two, they are so much bigger, stronger, faster than you think. And then you're going to lose. So leave them be. You can take a picture of them. Just, you don't have to get right up next to them. There's been many bad results. And yeah, you might think, it's a goose. Come on. Huh? Like Chris said, you ever been involved with an angry goose? Probably not. So interesting. So, well, I assume he has landed there, made it safely. He will be with us next week. I know he's got journeys from London to New York. He'll be busy, but he will be with us next week. So we will hold down the fort today. We'll take you to 10, then Alan Stiles. Then we'll have the drive guys to wrap up the day here on Sacktown Sports. But I mentioned it yesterday. Chris, you decided to come in because, let's see, it was about 2 or 3 days ago. Maybe it was a little bit longer ago, I should say, that my family text thread was kind of sending, different things. And it was my sister-in-law that's found like this link to like Mardi Gras meals, different things from the South, from New Orleans that like you can make. I think it might have been like the top 35 things. And I don't know what number. I mean, it wasn't necessarily in order of ranking them, but just 35 meals you can make to feel like Mardi Gras-esque or New Orleans, Southern Creole, Cajun, whatever. And I don't know, maybe number 9 or 10 on the list was Instapot jambalaya.
And you called your shot.
And I called my shot. She said, someone should try this, meaning like someone in the family, but not her. And so I saw it, looked at the recipe, and I go, well, I love jambalaya. Issue with shrimp and shellfish, so I can't do that part, but I love jambalaya. And I said, I'll do it. I'm going to do it. I'll try it. So a couple of days ago, made it. My mother-in-law was actually in town, a friend, my wife, my son, myself, and just perfect. It was sensational.
You sold it.
I sold it. I told Chris how good it was. Chris said, give me the recipe. I'm going to try it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do it again. You know what? Remember that time I did it before? I said, I kind of want to do it again.
I want to do it again.
So we get to yesterday and tell Chris, hey, look, I think I'm going to try making this jambalaya thing again. I'm going to bring it in to the game. I'm going to bring Henry some. And if you want to come in, go for it. And when I called you in the afternoon, I said, well, don't come in unless, I mean, you can come in if you want. But I said, I don't know for sure if I'm going to get it done on Thursday. Well, it turns out I had the time. I started working on it. And when I called you, was in the process of something with the Instapot didn't do the same thing that it did the time before.
It's obviously the Instapot's fault.
Of course. No, it was operator error. I did something different with the settings. And I went, oh, man, I hope that's I think this is right, but I'm not 100% certain because it wasn't as smooth and clear and completely understandable that I did it right the night before or the time before. So I was calling you. I said, hey, Chris, were you still planning on coming in? Because I made it, but I'm not 100% sure if it. You're like, I'll see you there. I'm like, oh, boy. Well, I guess I better deliver now. So finished making that, brought it in. So Chris came in to eat, watch the Kings game. Henry had some. And I think I overserved you guys. It was too much?
Yeah, it was a ton.
Yeah, it was a ton. So I'd put it in.
I did my best.
3 different. I started with like a main hub of a glass bowl, like a Tupperware-ish type thing, easy carrying case, I guess the way to put it. So I put that one in and put it in. It was like almost like nesting bowls. One's larger than the other, than the other, than the other. So I put the first one in, moved that one into the largest one. Second one into the main one, put it into I think, which was Chris. And then I had the last one. And then we could add the shrimp to your 2, left mine. So honest take on the food review. What'd you think?
Excellent.
Excellent.
I think I said the only thing I would change would be I would have made it a little spicier, but that's just my personal taste.
Yeah. So what? And I don't think it even nowhere in it did it say it would be spicy. And obviously you could add more things to make it that way, which I did not. I basically just followed the recipe. And usually that's what I'm probably guilty of on anything that I try to make first. And then I'll go, oh, you know what? I don't need this, or I could add this or less, but I'm not to that stage yet. But it was good. It was good. I ate mine before the pregame and then was going, oh, like I was a little bit to the edge of just a bit uncomfortable. I'm like, I probably should have had a little bit less than I did. And that's the other thing. Since we did this fast, I just don't eat as much.
No, me neither.
My stomach has shrunk, and yeah, I haven't just. That was a lot of food. It's filling too. That was the thing. So, well, good. Glad you guys liked it. Henry loved it, and
and the shrimp you put in there was huge.
Those were yeah. I mean, that was my wife's touch. So there you go. You still have some left over, I guess, for today.
That will be my lunch today.
Yeah. Where's my bowl? All right. So we got a jam-packed show. Like we said, it is Friday. Stick around with us. If you're here on YouTube, thank you for being there. Hit the thumbs up. Feel free to have chats along the side. We see all our regulars in there. Good morning to you all. Also on the text line. Lots for us to get to. We get it all underway next with Leading Off.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Match De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Johnny Mosley with Friday's Toyota Tahoe report. The weather's looking a little iffy up here for sure, but there's still plenty of fun to be had on the mountain. Pack a couple extra layers, load up your Toyota, and head on up here.
Thanks, Johnny. Today will be mostly sunny on the slopes with a high near 47. Tonight, there will be a chance of snow showers with a low of 22. And tomorrow, the snow will continue before 4 o'clock with a high near 27. This report is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best riders tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks, like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. coming to Golden One Center this week. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Lock in your seats today at monsterjam.com.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Let's do it. Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
McDermott with the inbounds pass to Sabonis. Back to McDermott. Drives it inside. Scoops it up. And it rolls off the iron. And that's going to do it. Horn sounds. And this one is over. So Denver gets the win. They're 2-0 against Sacramento this season. They won the first meeting just over a month ago at Golden One Center, 130-129. Sac came from 23 down to lead by 10 in that one. And then Denver closed it out. Going 7 for 7 over the final 4 minutes, and they ended up getting the 1-point victory.
Well, that's the great Gary Gerald calling the game last night right here on Sacktown Sports. I would say the end result, the final score, at least the outcome, the loss or a win in this case, but a loss, predictable. Part of it was the back-to-back, part of it. But I would caution that as look, that's the league. That's the way it happens. Kings have lost to teams that have played the second night of a back-to-back. Kings have won on second nights of a back-to-back. I would say on the meter on the NBA of most difficult, this is probably up there, if not the number one most difficult back-to-back in the league. We told you during the show yesterday and or on the pregame, whatever you listened to during the radio broadcast, the TV broadcast, they got in close between 3 and 4 Mountain Time. Heads to the pillow probably after 4. So, brutal, absolutely brutal. But with all that being said, I think that's a little bit unfair to Denver, to be honest. And not that I'm in here trying to be fair to Denver. I just hope people appreciate, 1, how good they are, 2, how good they're playing, 3, how great their best player and 3-time MVP, he's just unbelievable right now, Nikola Jokic. And so I thought the Kings, even from the get-go, showed fight. I didn't think they were playing as well. I think a lot of that had to do with Denver. And then certainly the fourth quarter was more than respectable and a nice fight, and the Kings made it interesting enough to think, oh my gosh, are they going to really do something completely spectacular? Fell a little bit short. I love that fight. We're going to talk about that too, that fourth quarter, and really more of the standard, and I'm doing that in quotes, of what Doug Christie is expecting, and probably what every coach. Mike Brown wanted that. Every coach that ever coaches a team. But I just know working with Doug, hearing him talk, just always preaching consistent excellence. You're not going to always have it, but if you can find doses of it, and that's your standard, that's your baseline, that's what you're always trying to achieve, you're going to get there more times than not. And I think staying with the game, Denver may have let off the gas. Kings didn't. And certainly made Denver have to work, have to put their starters back in. This should have been a more comfortable night for the Nuggets. In the end, a win for them, a loss for the Kings. It's going to be a tough road trip. I think it starts out, pretty tough, especially with the second night of a back-to-back in Denver. No other back-to-backs the rest of the way, but the Knicks are really good. You got the Nets and so on and so forth, the OKC on this trip. But there's some games the Kings can get, and they'll need to get, and I'll stick with that. If they come home 3-3, specifically 3-3 with a win over Minnesota, to me, that's my goals. I don't know. I'm sure the team wants to win every game. Well, they lost the first. Doesn't kill the trip. But, last night, a little too much Joker. Part of it being the back-to-back, elevation, all the things going. There were more things going against the Kings, but didn't play as well as they needed to early on, and made Denver work for it. Denver got it, and now 0-2 on the season against Denver. If you think about looking ahead, and if the Kings are so lucky to get into the postseason, just you start to formulate different things of, okay, if this was a playoff series, how would it go? Well, the Kings have lost the first 2. I think the matchups, honestly, were a little bit better for the Kings yesterday with Gordon coming off the bench still on a minute restriction, because when he's in that starting lineup, they're just so big, and I think it's a real problem for the Kings. But Christian Braun still did nice things. Gordon came off the bench, wasn't very effective, but it all stems around what the Joker does, their ability to get in the paint, their ability to run with Westbrook and Murray. So tough matchup for the Kings. They held their own after the game kind of got really going into that fourth quarter, but too little, too late, and Denver gets the win. More details on that throughout. Let's go to cut number 2.
Cut number 2.
What would it mean to you if you were the first rookie quarterback to take a team to the Super Bowl?
Man, I'm not even thinking that far. It will obviously be a blessing, but, I'm just focused on, how can I be better day by day.
That's Jaden Daniels. He could make some history this week if in the NFC Championship they could go to Philly and beat the Eagles. Championship weekend. The good news is we're getting to the best of the NFL. The bad news is the games are shrinking down. 2 left this weekend. The Super Bowl's a couple weeks away. And then the NFL closes up shop for the year, at least the games. Then the season never ends. It's like Smackline where your season never ends. But NBA, baseball, all these seasons, basically are full year. The games, though, will be over. But look, we got the NFC and AFC championship. This is a spot, personally, I thought the Niners would be in. And it didn't take long to realize, man, it's not their year. So they are far from that. This is all about the Eagles and the Commanders and the Chiefs and the Bills. We will preview that throughout the show. This is a good weekend. I'm looking forward to Sunday and see who will be the next teams going to the Super Bowl. All right, let's close things out with cut number 3.
Cut number 3.
From the Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron James, at the age of 40. Lakers are 23-18, 21st straight appearance, all as a starter.
I would never let a 40-year-old man be
24 points a game. His number is just outside the top 20. 9 assists is number 5 as he plays in 38 of their 41 games. 3-time All-Star Game MVP in 06, 08, and 2018.
06.
Yeah, 06. That's right, Kenny. That's the TNT crew announcing the NBA All-Star starters. Voted by the fans. There's a portion of player votes in there as well. But not entirely shocking. There was a pretty good race in the front court to see in the Western Conference to see which 3 would get there. LeBron James ends up being the top vote getter, joined by Kevin Durant, Nikola Jokic. Wembanyama was up there. Anthony Davis was up there. In the backcourt, SGA and Steph Curry. So those are your 5 in the West. The Kings, who face the Knicks tomorrow.
Steph Curry, the guy that only scored 2 points in the second half the other night.
That fraud. No, he's a tremendous player. And you know what? It's in San Francisco. I guess we'll give him a pass. He can make the All-Star team this time. This time only. No. I know Kings voted in. That was not shocking by the least. Not really that close. But we'll see, and we're going to discuss in the show whether or not the Kings will get an All-Star, whether we think they'll get an All-Star. It's not a question of whether they deserve an All-Star. Will they get one? We'll kind of go into some of the numbers and some of the candidates and some of the tricky spots that the Kings are in right now in that department. So we'll go through that a little bit later. The East, that we were mentioning, though, the Kings are playing the Knicks tomorrow. They've got 2 All-Stars. Karl Anthony Towns goes to a bigger market. It's a good player, having a great season. He's voted into that front court with Giannis, with Tatum, and then the backcourt, Donovan Mitchell. And yeah, the surprise, Davion Mitchell was voted in as an All-Star. No, Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson. So those are your 10 All-Stars so far. As you know, this year the All-Star format will be a little bit different with 4 teams competing in shorter games, and we'll see how that goes. Look, the league's trying something. I probably one of the few that really wasn't that fazed by the All-Star game, and I'm getting ready for that again this year. Like, this doesn't work. They got to change the game. This is okay. I mean, it's an exhibition. It's a showcase. I don't put that much into it. The problem is it's kind of isolated. It's by itself. There's no other sporting events really going on at that time, major sporting events. And so people look at that and go, this All-Star game's a joke. Okay, that's fine. It's more than normal of an opinion to have, but it's a showcase. No one wants to get hurt. Sometimes they're better than others. Sometimes they're more entertaining than others. I'm not saying they're great, but I don't take it for much more than that. But a lot of times every year it's like the league's broken. This is a shame. Oh, back in the day, people competed. Sure, maybe they did. It was different, but we're at a different time, and either get used to it, adapt, enjoy it, or just don't watch it if it's not your thing. So we will get into some of those things throughout this show, but we got to get into more detail about the Kings and the Nuggets last night. We'll come back with an audio recap of that still to come. We'll have our own spin on that, or we'll have Kings Rewind. That's coming your way at the top of the hour, probably a more detailed way in telling you how the Kings and the Nuggets performed yesterday. So we've got all that and more coming up as we continue here on Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA3 Weather Center, and today expect to have increasing cloud cover from the morning on into the afternoon. Temperatures starting off in the 30s will be warming today into the mid to low 60s with winds anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
Elk Grove Honda reports that Honda has earned 3 coveted 2025 Car and Driver 10 Best Awards for the 3rd year in a row, honoring Honda Civic, Accord, and CRV. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Hey, everyone has a past, but what happens if you have made mistakes and made good on that past, but it still follows you? It's still hanging around. You still can't quite escape that. Well, if you're looking for an attorney to erase past records and restore your rights, maybe even restore your gun rights, other rights that you may need, well, do you need a reputable criminal defense attorney who knows even good people make bad mistakes? The attorneys at Gonzalez Law Offices are here to help. You can find him online at saclegaldefense.com or call him at 916-304-9187. Now, they don't settle for less, and neither should you. And there's a lot of reasons why you might need help. But again, Jonathan Gonzalez is right here in town. He's local. He can be reached. It's obviously, he'll have, if you have questions, he'll have answers for you. But maybe it is a sexual harassment case you're dealing with. Maybe it's something like, I said, criminal defense, auto accidents, wrongful termination, or back to those expungements, something you're looking to have removed from your past. He can do all of that. If you have questions about it, 916-304-9187. But his case preparation and overall approach has resulted in life-changing results for thousands of clients, and you can be one too. Again, check him out at saclegaldefense.com.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. Just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
It's time to turn up the volume on live entertainment. Check out the Sacktown Sports live events calendar for the hottest events and shows coming your way. On February 18th, catch the incredible Miles Kennedy at Ace of Spades. His powerful vocals and raw talent will leave you speechless. Then gear up for an adrenaline-packed night with a Thunder Showdown boxing event at Thunder Valley on March 8th. Who will come out on top in the ring? Be there to find out. On March 9th, don't miss the legendary John Oates live at the Crest Theater, bringing you iconic hits and timeless melodies. If you're a country fan, mark your calendar for March 16th, when Alexandra Kay brings her heartfelt songs to Ace of Spades for an unforgettable evening. And on March 29th, get ready to rock the night away as Papa Roach and Rise Against take over the Golden One Center with an electrifying performance. Don't miss these amazing events. For more information and your chance to win tickets, head to sacktownsports.com. Sacktown Sports, your front row seat to the Sacramento area's best live entertainment.
Winter can be tough on your garage doors. So are you sure yours is ready to handle the cold? Well, don't wait for your garage door to break down on a chilly morning. This February, Overhead Door Company of Sacramento is offering their Sweetheart Special, $150 off a garage door with the purchase of a new garage door opener. So don't let winter slow you down. Visit overheaddoorofsacramento.com for your free estimate. And another reason to love the great folks at Overhead Door Company of Sacramento is how consistent they've been with giving back to the community. They have served our region for 70 plus years as a family owned and operated company, and they give back as you can join them this Saturday in Elk Grove for Project Ride's 25th annual crab feed, blessing the lives of those with special needs and disabilities. You can reach them at 916-421-3747, 916-421-3747. Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, the genuine, the original overhead door. Always look for the red ribbon logo.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sacktown Sports.
All right, our text line, 916-339-1140. YouTube, continue those conversations there. Check out the show if you'd like. That way. 209 says, again, to the Fox naysayers, has Kelsey hurt the Chiefs this year? No. He gets double-teamed and serves as a decoy sometimes, which opens up opportunities for others. Just like Dave said the other day. Plus the pinky thing, he's a king. Get over it. Yeah. He's a king. He's our king. He's not shooting the ball well, but De'Aaron's doing other things. He always does, always has. And I think he's also set his own personal bar pretty high. He is not playing as well as he normally does, but I don't know. In the big picture, do you think you think this will continue for the rest of the season? Or if you had to predict, do you think De'Aaron will kind of find it and get back into a groove? That's where I would go with it. But I still maintain, while he's going through the shooting struggles, it sure is nice to have Monk and DeRozan and Sabonis and Keegan Murray and everyone else. I mean, you're a team. It's not just the De'Aaron show. Other guys have elevated their play in this overall winning stretch they've been in. And certainly last night, they needed even more from everybody because Denver was the better team. Denver was the better team last night for multiple reasons. Whether you want to put it on the back-to-back, again, I think that's a little bit unfair to Denver because, let's be honest, they're phenomenal. And if I told you before the game, the final stat line that the Joker would have would be that historic, I mean, he's got triple doubles. He's done this before. But the Kings didn't take away one element of the Joker's game. He had 35 points and 17 assists, also 22 rebounds. So he was the best player on the floor. When the opposing team has the best player on the floor who is already the best player in the game, it's tough to win that game on their home floor. Now, it's unfortunate they got that far out of hand. But let's kind of listen back as heard here on Sacktown Sports, how it all began. Texter mentions De'Aaron Fox. Well, our first highlight of the game to kind of tell the story of the game was actually early when it was a relatively competitive first quarter. And here's a bucket from De'Aaron.
3 dribbles out of Fox on the right wing. Shot clock at 8. Fox launches the 3 and scores the triple. Oh, that's a welcome sight for De'Aaron Fox. He had been struggling in the last 3 or 4 games. We mentioned 30% from the field the last 3, but his 3-point shooting had been in a hole as well.
Yeah, De'Aaron made 3 threes last night. Problem is he took 10. He didn't shoot very well for the game. Kings shot 44%, shot 36 from 3, 74% from the foul line. It was really, though, more about the size and the inability for the Kings to stop a couple of things. Denver getting into the paint, which they are super efficient at and great at. It's what they do. They don't take as many threes or make as many as a lot of teams in the league. In fact, they're last in 3-point shooting, but they just don't shoot that many of them. They did hit 13 last night, which was a pretty good number for them. Fast break points, they're also number 1 in the league, and they had 18 of those. But the inability for the Kings to stop the Nuggets in the paint and stop them from getting second chance points a factor.
Murray for 3. Heel the rim and out. He'll track it down. Second chance opportunity for Michael Malone's club. He's active out there, waving his arms, directing traffic. Off the bounce, a pull-up 2 at the left elbow is missed. Here's the ball kept alive. Watson behind the back, bounce pass inside to DeAndre Jordan for a rip. That was just a superb sequence for Denver.
Yeah, Denver won the rebounding battle. They had 15 offensive rebounds. Kings actually better in the offensive rebounds, but you got to do your best to keep them off the glass. And it seemed like at times when the Kings would get a stop, Denver would get the offensive rebound, keep the play going, and continue. So it was, the first quarter was okay. I mean, it's not great to give up 40 points, but the Kings in the game at 40-31. Second quarter unraveled on the Kings quite a bit before the half.
Here comes Brown back. Hammer time. Wow. This is not typical of what we've become to expect from the Kings over the last 3 weeks. That time there was no contest in transition.
Yeah, it was ugly. It got away from the Kings by the half. They gave up 34 in the second, only scored 21. So it was looking pretty bleak at the moment at the half. I would say there was a little bit of a sign of optimism. I wasn't feeling a comeback yesterday personally. I know the Kings had the great comeback the night before against the Warriors. But I think it was, the circumstances, who they were playing, where they were playing, all of that seemed to line up against the Kings. But the third quarter began with a little bit of promise and a little bit of hope for the Kings.
Here is Keegan, going to try for another 3. He's got another one, and Keegan Murray is starting to catch fire. He's got his 3rd and 4 attempts. It's 81-69. It's a 12-point game. Kings have outscored Denver 17-7 thus far in the third.
Yeah, and so with that early in the third, now you're talking about, 12 points, more than a quarter and a half to go. This is more than doable. This team can definitely do this. But, right then when the Kings were starting to make their push, then Denver responded quickly and took control of the game yet again.
Joker has it. Shot clock off. 17 seconds to go. Joker pivots, looks, finds the cutter. Murray kicks to the corner. Payton for 3. Turn out the lights. This ball game is all but officially over. 11 seconds still left here in the quarter, but Denver now with its biggest lead of the night. On top, 107-82.
So a 25-point lead. G-Man at the end of the third is saying, turn out the lights. Now, that was with, 17 seconds left in the third? Kings would actually hit a basket, and then when this moment happened, it's like, yeah, it's not going to happen for the Kings. Like I said, it's not going to happen for the Sacramento Kings.
Still 1.7 seconds to go. Inbounds to the Joker, and he just hit an 85-footer. Oh, my goodness. With 1.5 seconds, the Joker took the inbounds pass, casually turned left shoulder toward the basket, threw it almost the length of the floor, and hit nothing but net. That was incredible. And the Joker just calmly walks over and shakes hands with a couple of his teammates. I do this all the time. Nothing to it.
A spirit breaker, seemingly. The number one play on SportsCenter's top 10. Just a full court with ease. And he was totally nonchalant and chill about it. Like, yeah, I made it. Good for me. No reaction out of him. Incredible performance. So let's get to the fourth quarter. This is a wrap. And we had just talked about the day before. The Joker in Denver had been so hot. He hasn't even had to play the fourth quarter. He was on the bench. Made sense. Let's let him rest for their next game. So the Kings are going to compete. They're going to try some other things and may have found something, by the way, along the way. But they go to the bench and Doug McDermott.
Here's Monk now. Here's McDermott off the curl, in rhythm for three. Bang! He knocks it down. That bang, a tribute to Mike Breen. Wow. 122-113. We're in single digits with 3:15 to go.
Okay. From 25 down, are the Kings really doing this? Well, they kept going and kept trying to make it really close.
Kings race up the floor. Monk accelerates, blows by the Joker, and a two-hand flush makes this a 7-point game at 122-115. Everybody on the Kings bench up.
And I'm sure there's some of you, and I don't blame you for this, that gave up, turned the game off, stopped listening, stopped watching, whatever it was. This one's over. Well, Dougie McBuckets made it really close for the Kings.
Here's McDermott sealed off in the corner by Porter. Gives to Monk. Back out to Dougie McBuckets. He fires. He hits another one. Oh, my goodness. McDermott for the second time since joining the Kings, knocking down 5 threes in a game. It's 126-121, 42 seconds to go.
So a 5-point game, 42 seconds to go. McDermott makes 5 threes in that 11 minutes that he basically played. But too little, too late, not enough, and the Nuggets would close things out.
McDermott with the inbounds pass to Sabonis. Back to McDermott. Drives it inside, scoops it up, and it rolls off the iron, and that's going to do it. Horn sounds, and this one is over. So Denver gets the win. They're 2-0 against Sacramento this season. They won the first meeting just over a month ago at Golden One Center, 130-129. Sac came from 23 down to lead by 10 in that one, and then Denver closed it out, going 7 for 7 over the final 4 minutes, and they ended up getting the 1-point victory.
Yeah, there you go. As heard from the G-Man, pretty good, valiant comeback attempt. Falls a bit short. Denver keeps their roll going. They were in that pack of teams in the Western Conference, but they've separated now. They are 28-16. Kings have done a great job of moving up the standings. They have a bad day yesterday, not only with their loss, but the rest of the West. We'll tell you about that coming up. The Kings fall to 23-21. All right, more coming up on this specific game in just about 15, 20 minutes with our version of our take on the game with Kings Rewind. But when we come back, more to get to on the NBA, including the NBA All-Stars were announced yesterday. We've got that and more as we continue here on Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sacktown Sports.
Oh, my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Malik Monk, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for the Start Something New sales event?
Right now, you can lease a new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4x8 plug-in for as low as $319 a month for 42 months with $39.95 due at signing. Plus, with 56 MPGE, you'll save thousands at the pump.
And in one of America's favorite SUVs.
Exactly. And that's not it. Not only do we have great deals on new Jeeps, but the Hoblet Family Dealers is growing with a huge selection of used cars at the Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter with over 200 used vehicles available and 40 under $20,000.
Get the new Jeep your family needs. It's waiting at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
Lease a $319 for 42 months before tax and license. Must be California resident for rebates, including $7,500 SFS hybrid electric federal tax credit and $2,500 West SFS lease cash. Must finance through Stellantis. $39.95 due at signing. 10,000 miles per year. 30 cents per mile over. Tax and license extra. 5 of this net savings. Sample MSRP 62,225. VIN 681180. See dealer for details.
Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way 30.
Don't miss the excitement of 49ers game day. Secure your spot at Levi's Stadium for the 2025 season.
20, one block and he's in.
Season tickets are available now. Inventory is limited, so to speak with a representative, call 415-GO-49ers.
Touchdown!
That's 415-GO-49ers.
San Francisco!
Shop can't miss deals going on now during Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. For a limited time, get a free adjustable stand when you buy a DeWalt 12-inch miter saw. That's a $229 value. Plus, save $680 on a Midea 4-piece kitchen appliance suite, now just $17.96. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid 1/13 through 1/24. Cannot be combined with additional discounts while supplies last. See store or Lowe's.com for more details and qualifying items.
Flex Premium Athleisure is softness that plays hard. From the couch to the gym to the office and beyond, Flex gives you premium comfort and style that keeps up with anything without costing everything. Whether you're chasing the ball or chasing the kids, life's a workout. Flex with it. Exclusively at Kohl's. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Celebrate Lunar New Year every week in February during the $800,000 Lucky Red Envelope drawing at Sky River Casino. Earn entries daily just by playing your favorite slots and table games with your rewards card. Plus, swipe at our promotional kiosk for a free daily entry. On select Sundays and Fridays, earn 100 bonus entries when you hit 100 tier credits. Join us every Saturday night in February, where every red envelope could be your ticket to $25,000 cash. Visit skyriver.com for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With over 500 new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Catch all the action at Sky River Casino. Enjoy over 80 table games, more than 2,100 slot machines, and a thrilling high-limit room. Plus, with 18 elevated restaurants, bars, and lounge destinations, and Sky River rewards that add up and up. There's something for everyone. Just minutes from Sacramento, right off Highway 99 in Elk Grove. Join in the fun and experience new heights. Sky's the limit at Sky River Casino. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sacktown Sports.
Jason Ross, Chris Rod this morning here on Sacktown Sports. Again, thank you all for being with us this morning on this Friday. Text line 916-339-1140. Want to clean up a couple things here. Let's see. Oh, I like this one, Chris. Good morning, Jason and Chris. Alan here with Papa Flavor. Love me some jambalaya. I have a few Cajun seasonings and others I would like to send you guys. No strings attached. And letting me know if you like them. Let me know where to send them if you'd like them. Well, hello. There you go. We'll send Alan there a note. That's nice.
Hey.
I lost you there, Chris.
I said I think I'll message him real quick.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Alan. Appreciate that. Where was another one here? Esteban. What is Fox's free throw percentage in his shooting slump? All right, let me look that up for you real fast here, because I would say the shooting slump has been, let's see, Fox is working on 4 games in a row where he hasn't scored 20, which is pretty high for him, a high number of games of not scoring 20. And in that stretch, 7 of 24, 2 of 11, 4 of 12, 6 of 17. I'll go one more game. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, take it to the Milwaukee game where he was 9 of 23. Before that, he shot a 56 on the game and an 81% game. Yeah, so I would say it's 5 games in a row for De'Aaron Fox of not shooting the ball well. So you wanted free throw percentage. De'Aaron is, wow, I didn't realize that. 19 for 19. Made them all. The odd thing is that 5th game ago, Milwaukee didn't get to the foul line. Last night, he didn't get to the foul line. We know he was 10 for 10 against the Warriors, 4 for 4 against Washington, 5 for 5 against Houston. So, yeah, De'Aaron, 19 for his last 19 from the foul line. That's good. But, yeah, his shooting it's been off. And that finger has been a problem all season long, but I don't know if it's more now. I mean, he had a few slaps on the hand, maybe even the other thumb or hand yesterday. So we'll see. But, yeah, De'Aaron's struggling. There's no other way to say it, certainly in his efficiency. But in that stretch, he had an 11-rebound game. He had a 13-assist game. I mean, De'Aaron does other things. But, yeah, I'll agree. He is not shooting the ball well, but good to see him going 19 for 19 from the line in that stretch. So, yeah, did not realize that. More to get to coming up, like I said, Kings Rewind coming your way at the top of the hour. Brenden Nunes will be joining us at 9. We'll get Brendan's thought not only on De'Aaron struggling, what else we can expect on this upcoming 5 games remaining now on the trip after losing last night to Denver. Yesterday, we played this earlier in leading off, but the All-Star starters were announced. This is the 50% of the vote is fan vote. And to me, I think, there's a lot of people sometimes that have issue. I think what's good here is, one, this is people fans want to see that made it. And I would think for the most part, you can make a really good argument that all of them should be all-stars anyway. I don't know that I see anybody that is taking a spot away. I mean, you can look at the one thing the league has done a pretty good job of trying to limit load management is, awards and having to play a minimum number of games to be eligible. I always thought there could be the same thing for the All-Star game, because the All-Star game, there is some recognition, some prestige to it. And if a player gets voted in that has missed a lot of the season, I mean, one is, I guess that's what the fans want, but two, is that really fair to the other guys that maybe have played more like an all-star? But I think for these 10, certainly in the East, Brunson, Mitchell, Tatum, Giannis, and Kat, actually zero issue with that. In the West, SGA, no problem. Nikola Jokic, no problem. I mean, LeBron's always there. He's the leading vote getter. Fans obviously want to see him. Steph, it's a home court game. And KD, I mean, they've all missed some time as far as Steph, KD, and LeBron. KD probably more than the others, but he's there. It's part of it. And we'll talk a little bit later in the show, too, about whether or not whether we expect to see a King get in the All-Star game. But, Chris, where are you on the All-Star game? Just in general, does it kind of really bothers some people, and it's never gotten to that for me.
Well, I don't watch.
Yeah. Okay. So that's perfect. Like, so it obviously you don't care about it that much.
Yeah. Like, it's one of those things of I might see like the opening to see like what they're doing there and that, but it's not something that interests me.
Yeah. The early 2000s.
Now, like if you go back to when I was a kid, like mid 90s,
felt like a big deal.
Oh yeah. That was like, I have to watch. I would say it almost feels like the Vince Carter dunk was the peak of the All-Star game, and it just kind of went down after that.
And part of it, I think, and I don't know if this is how you felt, but part of it, being younger, I enjoyed All-Star Saturday. Like, the game was good, but the events of the three-point contest, the dunk contest, I've always enjoyed that. I still love the three-point contest. The dunk contest for me is hit and miss. Some, like, I think a couple years ago when Levine and Gordon had a couple of great head-to-head, like, those were fantastic.
Well, the thing, too, is there's the incentive to be an all-star now isn't the money that you get from the all-star game. It's what you have in your contract that you get paid for more than you get from the all-star game. So it's like, it's weird. And these guys are making so much money. Like, if you said, like, hey, go for fun and try to make these most insane dunks, and you're making $60 million, like, no.
Right. Yeah. I mean, their bigger prize, like the league is trying to add with this cup tournament and the cup games. And, to a certain extent, they've elevated their play, but nobody wants to get hurt. Their bigger goal is trying to win a championship. And a lot of these guys are on teams that they can do that.
And it's bad because you can't put the toothpaste back in the bottle. Like, I think if you were to say, if for some reason this would never happen in a million years, so don't worry about it ever happening. But if all the owners came together and said, like, you know what, we want less money. We don't want this much money, because they share with the players.
Right.
So when the owners, they don't like to talk about this. The reason why players get so much is because they're in a 50-50 partnership with the players.
Yeah, owners are doing fine.
The players making this much money is because the owners are trying to get as much money as possible to get. So if they were to say, like, you know what, we're scaling back everything. We're going to go retro. We're going to have 1990 prices. You can get into a game for $20 now. Hey, players, I'm sorry, but now you're back to making $6 to $7 million a season. I think that would change a lot of things, but that's something that's never going to happen.
Yeah, you said it from the top. Never going to happen. But I will say this. When I went to the All-Star game, so the first time I had a chance to go, I was covering it for the station. This was back in the early 2000s when the Kings were getting, Rick Adelman was the coach. Vlade, Peja, C-Webb, they were going pretty regularly. Brad Miller went. So it was fun to go to a couple of All-Star games, and I really enjoyed being there. Being in the city, there's such a great buzz for the All-Star game, and for those of you that will make your way to San Francisco this year, hopefully you'll feel that same kind of vibe that's going on. Watching the game in person is fun. Watching All-Star Saturday is fun. It's a little bit different. Specifically, the dunk contest in person I found to be very weird because to me, a lot of times now watching the dunk contest, you'll see a dunk and it's like, oh, wow. And then you kind of need to see like 2, 3, 4 replays and the real like, oh my gosh, I didn't really see that he did all of that. So when you see it live, you're seeing incredible athletes do some of these amazing dunks, but you kind of need the benefit of 3 and 4 slow down replays to see it that way. But the All-Star game, it is what it is. It's an exhibition. It will be basically here in our backyard in San Francisco. And those are the 10 that are going. We will talk later about the merits of that and whether or not we can see Sabonis, maybe Fox, but it's going to be tough for those guys to get in. We will talk about that coming up. So first hour complete. When we return, though, when we come back, Kings Rewind, how it went down in Denver. If you missed the game, all you need to listen to is the rewind. This will give you the full description of what really happened. This is the writing of myself, the creative mind of Christopher Laud. Kings Rewind coming your way next.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Fisher Investments. We may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more. And then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss. Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA3 Weather Center, and today expect to have increasing cloud cover from the morning on into the afternoon. Temperatures starting off in the 30s will be warming today into the mid to low 60s with winds anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
The new year is here. Time for a new car. Coach Christie here urging you to upgrade to a new Kia right now. You might even end up with a lower payment. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song.
I love these nachos.
I love our kickball league. Oh, I love this guy.
What's your name?
You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
Ooh, ma.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Hello, I'm Frank Cockrell, the Retirement Security Centers with the Weekly Economic Update. This is a big week for investors as they may be getting a glimpse into the goals of the new administration in Washington. President Trump announced some joint ventures with a focus on artificial intelligence infrastructure called Stargate, with investments up to $500 billion pledged. The goal is to create up to 100,000 U.S. jobs. These investments will include data centers. These data centers are projected to consume between 6 to 12% of the electricity used by the U.S. by the year 2028. The energy infrastructure in the U.S. will also need to be boosted to accommodate the increased energy demand. The president declared a national energy emergency due to concerns over high fuel prices, the need to accelerate energy infrastructure, and with the hope that it will help revitalize U.S. manufacturing and block foreign energy imports. By expediting energy-related projects, there is bound to be some pushback from environmental groups, so this story is far from written. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Osaic FA Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Osaic FA is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Osaic FA.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave coming to you from my good friends at American Energy. Look, it's already cold outside. It's only going to get colder. American Energy wants to help you stay warm and make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of the $49 tune-up inspection. Normally $119, $49 right now, and that includes a full safety and duct inspection. And check it out. If your system's over 10 years old, and I'll bet it is, the tune-up, yeah, it's free. It's free from a company that's been in business since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ Better Business Bureau. Check their Yelp, check their Google reviews. Don't take my word for it. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. If you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Check them out at the AEway.com and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Johnny Mosley with Friday's Toyota Tahoe report. The weather's looking a little iffy up here for sure, but there's still plenty of fun to be had on the mountain. Pack a couple extra layers, load up your Toyota, and head on up here.
Thanks, Johnny. Today will be mostly sunny on the slopes with a high near 47. Tonight, there will be a chance of snow showers with a low of 22. And tomorrow, the snow will continue before 4 o'clock with a high near 27. This report is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
Happy Friday, everyone. Jason Ross, Chris Willott, Carmichael Dave back with us on Monday via remote. Made his trip to London. And he will be back, like I said, talking with us next week. And then we'll all be back in studio, I guess, Super Bowl week. Yeah. So look forward to that. NFC Championship, AFC Championship coming up this weekend. We'll talk more about that coming up. In this hour, we have more on the Kings' loss to the Nuggets. Is this just a isolated one game, blip, which since the Kings lost that 6-game losing streak, it's been almost a month since they've lost multiple games in a row. And that's the thing you want to try to avoid. This will be a tough one tomorrow in New York. We'll preview that coming up too with the Kings and the Knicks. Knicks are a really good team. So we'll talk about that. But it is after a game, 7 o'clock. We like to put our own little spin on what happened last night. Maybe you missed the game. You just didn't have a chance. Sometimes, hey, look, there's a lot of them. It's tough to get to the games, tough to always watch or listen. Feel like what happened, you probably were so, invested the night before into that thrilling win over the Warriors. So you might have missed last night. Well, don't worry. We got you covered. It is that time to look back at the game in something we call Kings Rewind. Well, the Sacramento Kings have been on fire lately, and now they were taking their show on the road.
I can't wait to get on the road again.
The first stop on this 6-game journey takes them to Denver, Colorado.
Expected the Rocky Mountains to be a little rockier than this.
I was thinking the same thing. That John Denver's full of shit, man.
The Kings arrived in the early morning hours Mountain Time and wouldn't put their head to pillows until around 4 a.m.
It's 3 a.m. I must be lonely.
That's a jam. I haven't heard that one in a while. That's life, though, in the NBA, and their chore of battling the equally hot Nuggets was going to be tough, and they knew it.
You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger.
Another jam. The Nuggets beat the Kings the first time in what started the Kings' downward spiral in December.
Why you bringing up old shit?
Before tip-off, starting center Nikola Jokic found out that he was named an all-star starter again.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play.
And he will be in San Francisco for the All-Star game.
Your trolleys are stupid. They make you look like a child.
Denver jumped out of the gates quickly with a strong first quarter and scored 40 on the Kings and led by 9 after quarter 1.
That's not good.
The second quarter began with the Joker on the bench, and the Kings did not gain any ground.
Oh, cool. Go. No doubt.
Where's that one from?
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, should have known. The 9-point lead was up to 14 when the 3-time MVP came back into the game, and Denver started to punish the Kings.
You're hurting me.
At the half, Denver 74, Sacramento 52, and it looked like the Kings just didn't have it.
Where is it?
The third quarter began with a couple of different mini Kings runs, and the comeback Kings looked like they might have a chance.
A chance.
Denver would stifle that and cap the third quarter with Jokic launching a near full court shot near the top of the arena, only to drop down right into the net.
The ceiling is the roof.
Leading 110-85, it looked like Denver would go on another game or would have another game without even having to play Nikola Jokic in the fourth quarter.
Well, isn't that special?
The Kings had a different plan as they started the fourth with a quick 14-0 run to cut the deficit to 11.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Former Kings head coach Michael Malone was forced to bring his starters back into the game.
You can't do that.
Kings reserve Doug McDermott continued to fire away and kept landing 3 after 3 to pull the Kings closer.
I'm loving it.
The deficit was 6 with 2 minutes to go. Then it's 5 with 48 seconds left, and there was some genuine hope for the Kings and their fans.
You fella, you can't see if it's not over.
The Nuggets would execute just enough late and free throws and stops, and they would end up winning 132-123 despite another furious comeback attempt by the Kings.
So close.
The Kings are already in New York after another late night flight.
I'm just like the tiredest I've ever been in my life.
Next up, Live from New York, it's Saturday Night Basketball.
Babies, before we're done here, y'all be wearing gold-plated diapers.
What does that mean?
Never question Bruce Dickinson.
So Kings and Knicks, Saturday night from the Mecca.
Bing bong.
There you go. That's how it all played out in Denver, and now on their way to New York. They got like 4 days in New York. G-Man said he's got 2 shows. I can't remember the 2 shows.
Forget about it. Is it Back to the Future?
It is not.
Oh.
I would have remembered that. I can't remember the 2 shows he's going to. So, I mean, they've got today as an off day. I bet today is a sleeping day. They play tomorrow. They're off without a game, at least, on Sunday, and then they play Monday. So what would you do with 4 days in New York?
Ugh, drive someplace else.
Wow. On your list of cities, I know it's St. Louis, Seattle. New York's up there?
New York, I'd find something to do.
Yeah. Well, there's always something to do in New York. That's the first thing you would think to do. Drive somewhere else. That has always been the weirdest thing for me as a lifelong Californian. When people are like, oh, I was in New York and just dropped over to DC, or I was in Philly. I'm like, wait, what? How does that? Those are quick. You could jump state to state.
I want to say Boston to DC isn't that big of a deal.
Right.
And this is when I get mad, because when there's talk about soccer teams from MLS going to California, like, well, they've got so many. Like, you've got 6 within like 100 miles of each other.
And to say, oh, well, they've got a team in LA. Yeah, that's more than 6 hours away, or 6 hours away, right? So, and to that point, I know there's been people, and have said the same. We said, not joking about this at all, but the people that said, like, hey, are you guys okay with the fires? Well, yeah, I mean, it's awful, but I mean, it's in Los Angeles. That's actually nowhere. It's nowhere near here.
Someone I knew from England, her and her husband were flying over, and they're like, oh yeah, the plan is like Yosemite, San Francisco, LA, and I'm just like,
yeah,
you're flying to these places.
Yeah, gotta be cautious of that. But yeah, those journeys and jaunts they could make from different cities and states, especially in that upper east. Like, you could just, I would say, of all the states, do you know how many states you've been to, Chris?
I'd have to count them out. I haven't been to the East Coast
at all.
I've been to Florida.
Okay.
That's about as East Coast as I've gotten.
Yeah, I would say there's a lot you can get in that Northeast, and I haven't been to that. That's probably a weak spot. I think I'm in the mid 30s of states, about 34, 35.
Oh, you're way higher than your mid 30s
of states that I've been to.
Oh.
Yeah. Have you been to Hawaii or Alaska?
Hawaii.
Yeah. I've not been to Alaska either. A lot of people rave about Alaska.
Yeah.
I've not been there.
My newest state was Idaho last year.
Okay. Idaho is fine.
That's how I would describe it.
Yeah. It would rank.
The company was fantastic.
Yes. That was the fishing trip, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
That was the
fishing trip. Yeah. When you went to Boise. All right, so there you go. That's how it all played out there with Kings Rewind. We will dive down, dig a little deeper into the game, the results. And one of the things we want to discuss, too, is, look, this game was a loss. That's the bottom line. That's where your measurement is, right? Win or lose. But inside of a game, every night in the league, there can be a takeaway, a positive or a negative. And not even trying to look at this as a silver lining, but honestly, a serious, serious question that I've seen already people bring up on the chat. Certainly on the text line. It was limited minutes. It was a spectacular 11 minutes that Doug McDermott showed that he can hit threes. He has some limitations defensively. There's no one's doubting that, but he is a professional shooter, and this Kings team could use more shooting. They could use it off the bench. And does Doug McDermott, not just based on yesterday, but that paired with Kevin Huerter has not played well at all lately. Should those minutes now, which have become less and less for Kevin Huerter, should those first bench shooter minutes go to Doug McDermott? That's something we will discuss as well. All right, when we come back, though, 3 questions, 3 answers. It is 3 for Madness time. We've got that coming your way next.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Hey, winter can be a tough situation. It's been cold. Chris and I were talking about that earlier, how cold it's been these mornings, and that can be tough on your garage door. So are you prepared? Are you ready to handle the cold? Well, don't wait for your garage door to break down completely on a chilly morning and then you're stuck. So coming up this February, Overhead Door Company of Sacramento is offering their Sweetheart Special. Listen to this, $150 off a garage door with the purchase of a new garage door opener. So don't get caught in that spot. Don't let winter slow you down. Visit overheaddoorofsacramento.com for your free estimate. And I've been talking about this company for a while. They are truly fantastic. I mean, they really are great at what they do, but I've just become big fans of them personally. They are really good people, and I just, shame on me. I root for good people in this world. They are good people, and they give back to the community. They have been phenomenal at their jobs for 70-plus years in our community. 9 counties surrounding Sacramento they have served, and many, many happy customers. You could be one too. But they also know the value of community, what that means, the importance of that. And they continue to give back, and they are giving back tomorrow in Elk Grove for Project Ride's 25th annual crab feed, blessing the lives of those with special needs and disabilities. They know the importance of community. They give back. They've given to many out there that have had the opportunity to enjoy their product. The Overhead Door Company of Sacramento. They do stuff residentially, certainly commercial as well. You could check out their website. We gave you that at ohdsac.com or call them at 916-421-3747. Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, the genuine, the original overhead door. Always look for the red ribbon logo.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
All right, well, let's do it. It is 3 for Madness time. It is question number 1. Christopher Laud, fire away.
Ichiro missed a unanimous entry into the Hall of Fame, and he said yesterday he would like to invite the voter over to his house for a drink and chat. How great is Ichiro?
The more stories you hear about it, I mean, as a player, Hall of Famer, there's no doubt no one's questioning any of that. I love some of the stuff that's come out here in the last couple of days that I didn't know about him that just makes him sound like, 1, world-class teammate, 2, world-class person. And that's just such a great headline. Like, 1 voter didn't vote for him. Part of you, if like the surface of what we see of Ichiro makes it sound like, if you didn't know him, you're like, ooh, he wants to meet that voter. And yeah, I'll talk to that voter. It's more like, no, let's come over. Let's hang. Tell me why.
Not my regular house. This is somewhere on the outside. Just join me by yourself.
By yourself. We have this in our daily audio that's related to that. I'm going to play it. I hope it's related to this. I believe it is Ichiro about that situation.
I was able to receive many votes from the writers and grateful for them. But there's one writer that I wasn't able to get a vote from. I would like to invite him over to my house, and we'll have a drink together, and we'll have a good chat. Very, very grateful to be here, and thank you.
That's via translator, it says, but
sounds like the translator was partying.
No kidding. Maybe he already had the drinks. I would like to say I've acquired a certain set of skills.
Boot barn.
Yeah. And I will kill you. Yeah, I think Ichiro would be a fun hang, don't you?
Oh, yeah. The thing is, too, because we don't know a lot about him, but from all the stories from players that he played with, it was like he would give you little glimpses of himself. Like, man, this guy is wild.
Yeah. Didn't you send that to Dave and I on the tech? Yeah, the
Mike Sweeney.
Mike Sweeney.
Yeah.
When he got to first base, didn't know what to say to it. Yeah, that was great. Wait, was he the one did he tickle Ken Griffey Jr. or did Ken Griffey Jr.
Ken Griffey Jr. tickled Ichiro
before every game?
That was apparently a pregame ritual.
How was this not anywhere? Maybe it was video footage somewhere, but I do not recall
I don't think
this.
so. It was when Ken Griffey came back to Seattle, so after his time in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And that was, I remember reading that they said he would find him, start tickling him, and they would be like two kids.
Yeah.
And then they'd stop, and then like Ichiro would go back to his normal baseball routine.
Yeah, and then a lot of people, I know Dave brought this up too. It's like, we got to out the person that it's like, all right. I mean, it wasn't unanimous, missed by one. I would feel like, man, this was my reasoning. This is why I did it. And then you're like, I'm the only one. Oh man.
I don't think knowing baseball writers the way I think I know them, I'm pretty sure that's not his thinking.
My hunch is because of player X was never unanimous.
Babe Ruth never got a unanimous.
Yeah, so I can't do that. Well,
or it's something like, I tried to talk to him one time and he said he wasn't available.
Yeah. So I'm done with him. Yeah, come on. Yeah, I think Ichiro would be great. I would love that. And then maybe that'll be set up, the writer and Ichiro, and they can put it on YouTube or something. All right, question 2.
They are making tweaks to the NBA All-Star Game. Any suggestions for the NBA?
Yeah, so this year, 4 teams, 4 smaller games to see if they could be competitive. I said it earlier. I'll say it again. I don't have as much of an issue with the All-Star Game, but here's the one thing, because people do get caught up in who goes to the All-Star Game. Our fan base does. We all want Kings to make it. I think they've got multiple people playing like All-Stars. I don't know if they'll get 1, 2. I don't think they'll get 2. Could they get Sabonis? And if they don't, people feel in a smaller market like Sacramento, or a market that feels like we've been slighted. I know the lean of our fan base. So part of it, though, I think part of the reason is a numbers game. And especially since they started having the leading vote getters draft the teams, which actually I thought that was kind of cool. I know some people are like, oh, the draft is terrible. Okay, it was different. They tried something, and if it wasn't for you, that's fine. But once you're drafting teams, or in this case, going to have 4 different teams, why on earth does it matter positions? Why are we even doing that? So if the West had, and really, why are we having East and West? Why does it have to be an even 12 All-Stars in each side? If maybe it should be a league-wide thing. If you're drafting 4 different teams, if 10 guards in the West deserve to go, then have 10 guards. It's about what you did in the season to deserve to be an all-star. So, I mean, that would be my suggestion. Forget positions. And it's not saying the traditional saying right now where it's positionless basketball, but yeah, it is. Why do we need a center or 3 front court players and 2 back court players? How many teams start 3 guards? How many teams start 4 big men? I mean, you just have different way rosters are constructed, and it's about, did you play like an all-star? Not, hey, well, you were the 4th best center, and I'm sorry, there were 3 others ahead of you. Like, what is that? Were you an all-star or not? So I would take the position part and completely throw that out the window. That, to me, is irrelevant, especially when you're drafting the teams. That would be my suggestion.
Well, I have been saying this for years. Bring back rock and jock basketball. That's how you fix the All-Star Game.
How would that look? Don't they kind of, so it's not what's the celebrity game?
Yeah, there's a celebrity. Put them together. Give us the 25-point rim and the 50-point rim. Give us a 10-point spot.
With celebrities.
Actually, do you know what would be great? I haven't heard anything about it since there was talk of it, because Mike Bibby was supposed to be in that basketball league, or he is part of the setting up of one where it's an LED floor, and it was going to be different hot spots that you could shoot that would be different points. And the key would light up, and if a dunk would be worth 3 points, do that
for the All-Star Game.
Yeah,
I mean, it's all exhibition, so why not?
Put it at the last 3 minutes, some randomizer does that with the floor.
Yeah, it's too productive for the city that hosts, because sometimes, if it becomes that much of a bother for everyone, you can name All-Stars and not even have a weekend. Give them all a bye. But yeah, it's going to be packed. All the events in San Francisco will be packed for a couple of days. It's a huge boost to these cities. So yeah, that's going to keep existing. All right, let's get to question number 3.
Question 3.
Only one more week of NFL action after this weekend. Are you sad?
Yeah, I like the NFL. I mean, I really get sad when all these seasons end. I think anything that culminates in a postseason, that's what you wait for. That's the goal. That's so exciting. But either if your team gets eliminated or just as it goes along, the pool shrinks. You know, the NCAA this year having the college football playoff for the first time was fun to watch. From 12 teams, ultimately just kept shrinking, and then you get to the national championship and it ends. That's the same way with the NFL, NBA playoffs, all these things. And when you get to the end, you miss it. And yeah, football will go on, and then you kind of transition maybe fully into basketball for some, with baseball around the corner. Well, yeah, we're like just about 2 months away from the A's here in Sacramento. So it all moves fast, but yeah, the NFL, I love the 18-week regular season. Sundays are great. I just have always loved that during the season. Red zone, watching all the games, watching the Niners, Raiders, those teams that usually get shown. Obviously, the Niners do locally, but Raiders too a lot of times. I just love that routine of that. But yeah, it's dwindling. But we got the best of the best that's left, right? The NFC Championship game, AFC Championship game, and then the Super Bowl to come. We will talk about those coming up. But when we come back, let's get back into the Kings. We'll recap the Kings and Nuggets game and kind of talk more about that situation I was bringing up before we got into Three for Madness about, it's not just a throwaway game. The Kings did lose. Nice fourth quarter comeback. It's a loss. But in the loss, does Doug McDermott deserve the Kevin Huerter and maybe some of the other guards minutes off the bench? We'll discuss that and more when we return on Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA 3 Weather Center, and today expect to have increasing cloud cover from the morning on into the afternoon. Temperatures starting off in the 30s will be warming today into the mid to low 60s with winds anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Elk Grove Honda reports that Honda has earned 3 coveted 2025 Car and Driver 10 Best Awards for the 3rd year in a row, honoring Honda Civic, Accord, and CRV. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
My good friends over at Jiffy Lube have an amazing New Year oil change special going on right now for the month of January. Get a full synthetic oil change starting at just $76.99 with a $33 off coupon online. That's right, starting at just $76.99 for a full synthetic motor oil change with a $33 off online coupon from JiffyLube.com today. Offer valid for up to 5 quarts of premium motor oil, specialty vehicles, and diesel extra. Happy New Year from Jiffy Lube.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With over 500 new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CRV, HRV, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Hey, it's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, and the regular season is over, but the high hand bonuses, those are not. $500 per primetime football game, whether it's weekend, Monday night, whatever it may be. And those bonuses available until the season ends, including the big game on February 9th. Capital Casino, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com. Please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service. We're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729 or visit us at powercopiers.com.
This year, resolve to save on the all-new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy with $8,000 off MSRP after rebates on over 30 new half-ton Silverado LT and RST after rebates. And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area. $8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. Based on 2011 or newer Chevrolet.
The only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Carmichael Dave off today. Jason Ross, Christopher Ladd. We take you till 10. Coming up at 9, Sacktown Sports Kings insider Brenden Nunes will join us. We'll talk more about the Kings, the game last night, certainly the upcoming games with the Knicks tomorrow and the rest of the road trip. Do want to say this. We got this text from a regular. Always appreciate all of you guys that check in on YouTube or on our text line, 916-339-1140. Hey, J. Ross, pretty scary stuff here in Chula Vista. Me and my family are going through. I live close to the border fire, and evacuations are in order. Advised us to pack up just in case. Haven't experienced anything like this. That's from Danny in Chula Vista, a regular. So, Danny, thinking of you, thinking of your family. Be safe, be smart about that. I mean, look, I cannot relate. I'm not trying to say that, but if that's what you're being advised to do, or to at least be prepared, do that, be ready, and hopefully you don't have to worry about it. If you do, I mean, I'm saying something that may ring hollow. Look, so many people, and I know so many people, honestly, we have a lot of family friends down in the Southern California area that did lose homes. It's awful. There's no other way around it, but it is, it's material stuff. It's your health, your safety is far, far more important, but man, I know you'll be smart about it, but thank you for sending that. And thinking of you, thinking of everybody that's been impacted, and just do what you can, do the best you can, and be safe and be smart about that. So thinking of you, Danny, appreciate you checking in there. Last night, the Kings in Denver. Look, again, I said this, if you missed it early, I know people join in different times, maybe you're heading to work now or getting prepared, taking kids to school, whatever it might be. On the scale, like if we're looking at 100% of the game, and where are you pointing the blame? Where are you centering this? I have seen a lot of people, which he's primary target number one right now, and it does bother me. I will say that, but another texter says, I don't agree with some of the fans that say Fox lost the game and should have stopped shooting or should have been taken out. He had to play, especially when everyone else was gassed. That's from Chris the mom. Yeah, Fox didn't have a great shooting night. That's a fact. But on the scale, on the 100% of the reasons why the Kings lost, I think part of it, again, a portion, I don't know where I would give it, but a portion would go to the fatigue, the back-to-back, the difficult nature the Kings were in. A portion, smaller portion. Certainly some of the Kings' performance was reflective of that. But I want to tip the scale and weigh it so heavily to Denver. First and foremost, let's say the Kings had 4 days of rest going into Denver. On paper, historically, currently, Denver's better than the Kings. They've played that way. Doesn't mean the Kings can't beat them. Kings went into Boston and had one of their great wins of the year. Fully loaded, fully healthy Boston team. Kings are playing well. Kings are confident. And so can they go into Denver and win? Absolutely. But Denver's better than them. There's matchup problems. They've got the best player on the floor that's playing at his best level. So I think saying back-to-back or poor shooting or Fox or wherever you want to go on the Kings side of things, I understand it, and it's part of it. But this is way more to me about Denver. Denver was excellent. Denver was too much to handle for the Kings. They got off to a good start, extended that start, handled the Kings' runs until the end when the Kings really started to do something really spectacular and I think brings up more than a fair conversation. Should there be more time for this guy off the bench?
Here's McDermott sealed off in the corner by Porter. Gives to Monk. Back out to Dougie McDuckets. He fires. He hits another one. Oh, my goodness. McDermott for the second time since joining the Kings, knocking down 5 threes in a game. It's 126, 121, 42 seconds to go.
So Doug McDermott is a professional bench shooter. That's what he's been. That's he hasn't had a ton of opportunities here for the Kings. He did start the last time the Kings played Denver while Keegan was out, and in that game in 27 minutes scored 16. So the 2 games he's played Denver, he scored 16 and 15. That Denver game was the first time, was the day after, the game after, he lit up Utah in 8 minutes and scored 18 points, hit 6 threes, and that was, the Kings absolutely blew out Utah. But for the fans that were there, it was an incredible moment to watch. So he can score in bunches, and I don't think he's been given a ton of opportunity to play. In fact, in the month of January, he's played 9 minutes, 7, 2, 3, and then yesterday 11. Hasn't played in a lot of games, hadn't scored a bunch, and this is the kind of thing he can do. And obviously we can look at some of the things that he's not as strong at. When he is in meaningful games, in meaningful minutes, in key rotations, a lot of teams seek him out and try to get switches, try to get to a spot where, like, okay, we want our better player with the ball being guarded by Doug McDermott. Doug's not the only one that happens to. That happens at times to DeMar DeRozan. That certainly happens to Kevin Huerter. And so my question would be to Doug Christie, to the Kings decision makers, has Doug McDermott, not just yesterday, but a few other games this year, put himself in a position where he should be considered higher up in the rotation, maybe ahead of a guy like Kevin Huerter, maybe ahead of the rookie Devin Carter? He's big. He's 6 foot. Well, he's 6'6". I mean, so he's got decent size. Obviously, he's catch and shoot. He's not shy. He will not turn down shots. And I think he's the kind of guy that you kind of know. I mean, I think he's got to get 7 to 8 looks if he gets off the bench, and he can do that in a short amount of time. So, if he's got a 0 for 2 in his first run through, all right, well, maybe 0 for 3, he's out. Take him out. Maybe he's not the advantage that you're seeking. But that was some of the issue I had when Mike Brown would sprinkle him in. Like, he'd come in and maybe play 2 minutes without a shot attempt. That does nothing. And maybe he got scored on. So he's more of a negative player. He's got to get a shot or two to test the waters. And sometimes that's unfair, but it's almost like the life of a pinch hitter. You got one at bat. Maybe you got one pitch. Well, did you deliver? And if you don't for a couple games, maybe you don't get called on as much. McDermott has more opportunities like yesterday. It felt like a throwaway time in the game. Well, he and that bench unit and some of the starters made that very, very interesting against Denver. So I think it's something to think about going forward. I don't think it should impact anything as far as the front office goes, as far as the trade deadline, which is now less than 2 weeks away. We'll kind of get into that a little bit more, too, about how well they've played. I still think this team needs to look to upgrade, but to what level, I think, is kind of where I'm going to discuss on improving this roster. And you're always trying to do that. I mean, that should always be the goal, even if you're, like we discussed yesterday with Sam Amick, even if you're OKC, that right now is first, has a bunch of young players, they have contracts signed for a couple years, and they've got so many future draft picks. Keep pushing. Keep trying to get yourself better. And I think that's what the Kings should be trying to do as well. So a tough one for them. I was telling you, look, you can put this on the back-to-back. You can put this on other things, but I think Doug Christie summed it up pretty well in the postgame yesterday.
We also have to recognize that our opponent is really good. Like they have some dudes over there that can play at a high level. They know how to play. They're extremely well coached. And when you put all that together, you got a hill to climb. But our guys were ready for the fight. Like I said, it didn't And that happens here sometimes. Early on they get running, and that's part of what they do is their transition game is at a high level. They want to get out and run, create some easy buckets. Then all of a sudden the threes start flowing, playing through Jokic. You get your easy back doors. But the fight that our guys continue to show, continue to fight all the way to the end, that's what I expect out of them. And I believe that that's what they're expecting out of themselves, even more so.
That's the standard. That's what we discussed. That's the expectations, the non-negotiables from the Kings. You're not going to shoot well. You're not going to always defend. You're not going to have it. Some nights it just doesn't work. But if there can be that consistent drive for competitiveness, if that just gets inside your DNA, the ability to come back, which the Kings, an incredible stretch there that made that game stressful for Michael Malone and Denver. It shouldn't have been, but it did. And so it's not a moral victory. It's not even anything more than that, hey, look, as a team, the expectation is to never give up, to keep fighting, to keep, pursuing your excellence and to find it, like shoot your way out of it. Defend your way out of it, rebound your way out of it, dive on the loose for loose basketballs your way out of it. Whatever it is to get yourself back into a spot where you can try to win a game. Because the ultimate thing is wins and losses. You can have all these efforts, and if you just don't have enough, you don't have enough. I think this team does have enough to win at a pretty high level and certainly be a top 6 team. I don't think that is a crazy, outlandish statement to say, even with the way the roster is constructed without another move. Again, think about what I said there. A top 6 Western Conference playoff team. I think they could do that. I'm not suggesting without a move, without other things that they, we're talking about a championship team, but top 6, isn't that fair? I think that's more than fair to think with a talent like Fox, Sabonis, DeRozan, Monk, Murray down the line. That's a good team. It's got flaws, but it's a good team when they've got that as their standard. And while not playing well, while the better team was playing better than you, you still fought, you still had a chance. And yet again, another game under Doug Christie. Take it for what it's worth. They have tied 2 fourth quarters. They have won every other one that they've played when coached by Doug Christie. And I think that's a testament to the team, to the coaching staff. Some of them, they've needed it, right? The Warriors game was tied going into the 4th. They won the game. Yesterday, they're getting demolished going into the 4th. They made it very interesting. I think if you keep winning 4th quarters, you're going to win a lot of games too. All right, more to come when we come back. 916-339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. It was a tough game for the Kings, but there was a moment that was identified as the Jiffy Lube drive of the game. If you know it, if you know how the G-Man described it, you describe it to us. First one to do it correctly on the phone lines wins a $100 gift card courtesy of our friends from Jiffy Lube. What a way to go into the weekend. Your chance to win here on Sacktown Sports. We've got that coming your way next.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for the Start Something New sales event?
Right now, you can lease a new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4x8 plug-in for as low as $319 a month. For 42 months with $39.95 due at signing. Plus, with 56 MPGE, you'll save thousands at the pump.
And in one of America's favorite SUVs.
Exactly. And that's not it. Not only do we have great deals on new Jeeps, but the Hoblet Family Dealers is growing with a huge selection of used cars at the Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter. With over 200 used vehicles available and 40 under $20,000.
Get the new Jeep your family needs. It's waiting at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
Lease a $319 for 42 months before tax and license. Must be California resident for rebates, including $7,500 SFS hybrid electric federal tax credit and $2,500 West SFS lease cash. Must finance through Stellantis. $39.95 due at signing. 10,000 miles per year. 30 cents per mile over. Tax and license extra. 5 of this net savings. Sample MSRP 62,225 VIN 681180. See dealer for details.
Sacramento's premier country music festival
Festival. Country in the Park is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Hoblet Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's great.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
Whether you're tinkering in your garage or tackling big projects, if you know the value of working with your hands, you know Harbor Freight. And you can be confident knowing that at Harbor Freight, you can get quality tools at prices that work just as hard as you do. Because the only thing more satisfying than a job well done is a job well done, well under budget. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting rules for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
I'm sure you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text GIVE to 200-300 to get started today with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic, but for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text GIVE to 200-300 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text GIVE to 200-300. That's GIVE to 200-300. GIVE to 200-300.
Elk Grove Honda reports that Honda has earned 3 coveted 2025 Car and Driver 10 Best Awards for the 3rd year in a row, honoring the Honda Civic, Honda Accord, and Honda CR-V. Honda Accord wins for a record 39th time. You can see and drive all the new 2025 award-winning models at Elk Grove Honda and see why Honda cars and trucks continue to impress the critics. We are Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for 3, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader. Carmichael Dave.
He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sacktown Sports.
All right, back here on the show, Jason Ross, Chris Verlaud, Carmichael Dave is off. We're going to get to our Jiffy Lube drive of the game again. Dial up right now. If you heard the G-Man describe that yesterday, you could win a $100 gift card courtesy of Jiffy Lube. 1-800-920-1140 or 916-339-1140. First one to do that will win that $100 gift card. Chris, go ahead and hit that breaking news banner.
When it breaks,
we have it first.
It's Sacktown Sports Breaking News.
All right, remember yesterday when we were talking about the 49ers and the rumor or the potential about Pete Carroll maybe going back to San Francisco and being a defensive coordinator? Well, we can scratch that because, according to multiple reports, Pete Carroll and the Las Vegas Raiders have reached an agreement on a 3-year deal with a 4th-year team option to become their next head coach. How about that? How about that? So Pete Carroll is back, and, you know, this league is filled with younger coaches all the way around, with the exception of the AFC West. It's Andy Reid, Jim Harbaugh, Sean Payton, and Pete Carroll. Wow.
So he will be turning 74 at the beginning of this season. And he's got a 3-year contract. So 77.
Yeah. I will say this, though. I know you're not a big fan of Pete Carroll.
No. I'm not a fan of Pete Carroll, the person.
Yeah, exactly. Let's be perfectly clear. He is on the thinnest of ice. No. You have to admit he does not seem 74, though.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just like, I mean, I guess that type of mentality gets you at the highest level of football. But at 75, don't you want to just like chill out a bit?
Yeah, and that is not a chill out job by any means. There is something in the wiring of coaches. I don't know, because I marvel at them, what they're able to do, their communication skills, their leadership skills, their X's and O's, whatever sport it may be. But it's a rough job.
This is probably one of my highest opinions. Like, if I was just like, Chris, you're able to make any law that you want type of thing, like 70, you're done with working.
No matter what.
No matter what. I don't care what it is. Politicians, you know what? You're bumped down to 60. We can't have you.
Under Chris's law?
We can't have you being in your 70s and making huge decisions that you don't understand.
You know, it'll be interesting because you're not there yet, but when you get to 60 and or 70, if you'll think differently.
I want to stop working now.
But for some, in fairness, and I don't think it should be this way, I don't think it's a healthy way. For some, they identify as their job. Like, that's who they are. I'm like, no, that's what you do. That's not who you are.
Like, I say 70, you don't work anymore, but you're taken care of, and you are found like hobbies. Like, hey, we're going to find out what you want to be interested in.
Yeah.
What are you interested in? How about we have some fun doing this? Hey, relax.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
Okay. Relax. Golf, fish, travel, do nothing, do everything, charity, community, whatever it might be. Become a workout demon, cook. Yeah. So much time to do if you're retired. I'm not of, I mean, one, I love this job, always have, but like I marvel at the G-Man. I mean, he's 84.
Sorry, G-Man.
84. Yeah, Chris would have had it over for you 14 years ago.
Didn't consider that. I'll make a loophole.
Exactly. A loophole for some. I mean, he's still great at what he does. And this is an interesting hire.
If you're a pillar of that
the
community,
yeah.
You get to.
Yeah. I mean, the other part is Pete Carroll in Vegas. Look, I think the guy can coach. I do. I mean, if you're a Niner fan and you just hated the Seahawks and hated him, or me all those years at UCLA, I did not like him at USC because he won all the time.
See, because here's the thing. Now I'm going to save myself with the G-Man type of thing. Pete Carroll goes from job to job to job to job. So like, you can't do that. It's like you get grandfathered in with where you started. G-Man
it's like he's in the transfer portal.
Yeah. So, like, if G-Man's just like, oh, I just signed a 3-year contract to be the play-by-play. Yeah. No, you're done, G-Man.
Right. I got
Sorry.
I got you. Under Chris's law. Well, there's the news. Wow. Pete Carroll named the new coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. All right. Interesting there. So, last night, we talked about the Kings losing. It was a really bad night, though, all the way around for the Sacramento Kings. We're always going to kind of keep our eye on what's going on in the standings.
Standings watch.
And yesterday, if you go on the East-West games, so like the teams in the Eastern Conference playing the West, well, Pacers lost to the Spurs in Paris by 30. So the Spurs picked up a full game on the Kings. I know Portland's not in the mix, but they went to Orlando. That's a mismatch. And it was for Portland. They somehow won 101-79. The team closest to the Kings was Dallas. I'm like, oh, that's fine. They're going to lose to OKC. That one's played in OKC. They're not going to get that one. Oh, wait, they did. So the Kings lost a game on the Dallas Mavericks. The Kings obviously lost themselves. Lose a full game on the teams that played and won yesterday. The Warriors, who were losing early to Chicago, I'm like, ooh, this would be huge. Well, the Warriors came back and won easily. I'm like, oh, well, the Lakers are going to lose at least to Boston. Nope. Lakers beat Boston, and I didn't think the Clippers would lose to the Wizards, and they did not. So, as we do the standings watch yesterday, remember we talked yesterday, the Kings were in sole possession of 7th. They had moved past teams like the Warriors and the Suns and the T-Wolves and even the Mavericks. Well, yesterday's loss and all that other stuff that happened has dropped the Kings technically in the moment back to 9th. And they're in a tie for 8th with Minnesota. Minnesota currently has the tiebreaker, so the Kings would be 9th. T-Wolves are 8. Kings, they aren't far back of any of these teams. The separation is 4 and up. Denver is now 5 games ahead of the Kings. The Lakers are 2 games up at 5th spot. Same with the Clippers, 2 games ahead. And remember, they both currently have the tiebreaker. Lakers will have it. They swept the Kings. I mean, look, Kings have 21 losses. 6 of them are to LA teams. 4 to the Lakers, 2 to the Clippers. Dallas now a half game up. We mentioned the virtual tie with Minnesota. Phoenix, though, right behind the Kings at 22 and 21. Warriors now 22 and 22. And the Spurs, with that win, 20 and 22. So this is going to get to an interesting trade deadline, which is now 13 days away. And we're going to discuss that a little bit more coming up in the next segment here in the 8 o'clock hour. So we'll talk about that, talk a little bit more post-game reaction, more thoughts on last night's game and how impressive Denver was in that fight in the fourth quarter for the Kings. We'll talk about that more straight ahead here on Sacktown Sports.
Fisher Investments. We may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA 3 Weather Center, and today expect to have increasing cloud cover from the morning on into the afternoon. Temperatures starting off in the 30s will be warming today into the mid to low 60s with winds anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Happy New Year! Coach Christie here letting you know it's never been easier to drive into the new year in a new Kia. Take advantage of special low finance rates and zero down deals with approved credit right now at Folsom Lake Kia.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the ultimate lunch lineup boasts wall-to-wall sports and scenic views. When you're hungry and in a hurry, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
My good friends over at Jiffy Lube have an amazing New Year oil change special going on right now for the month of January. Get a full synthetic oil change starting at just $76.99 with a $33 off coupon online. That's right, starting at just $76.99 for a full synthetic motor oil change with a $33 off online coupon from JiffyLube.com today. Offer valid for up to 5 quarts of premium motor oil, specialty vehicles, and diesel extra. Happy New Year from Jiffy Lube.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, price lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by the league.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
All right, we begin the 8 o'clock hour here on this Friday show. Jason Ross, Christopher Laud, Carmichael Dave is off today, back with us on Monday. And again, Alan Stiles coming up at 10. We'll have Friday fun and games to wrap up the show. Still celebrity birthdays. 1 hour from now, we'll check in with our Sacktown Sports Kings insider, Brenden Nunes, will be joining us. Still 4 down territory. Some NFL news before we get back into the Kings. If you missed it, the end of last hour, breaking news from the NFL. The Raiders have their new head coach. And it's a name you know. Pete Carroll is back in the NFL. Back with the Raiders, so he had 1 year, not back with the Raiders, but with the Raiders, he'll be their head coach on a new multi-year deal. He had been coveted and trying to get back in the NFL. I know we mentioned yesterday the Niners talking to him about a defensive coordinator position. Apparently he interviewed with the Bears, but the Raiders.
Oh, man, he's desperate if he is willing to go to the Bears.
Well, he might be desperate if he's willing
to
go to the Raiders. But, Chris, apparently you've got some exclusive reaction or audio. What do you have here?
Yeah, I don't know how much the Raiders are paying him, but it sounds like a lot. This is what he said about it.
For years I've waited for this. Years. I've been coming here for the year. Never won once, and now I won. The money is mine. I have the money. The money is mine. I got it for the first time. I got the money.
Vegas Vacation. Classic.
Controversial. Might be my favorite vacation.
That one's grown on me because I remember, I don't know, when I saw it, I saw all the Vacations in the theater, and I went, I didn't laugh as much in the theater as I did. But
now, see, if we knew each other then, well, I'd be 12 at the time. But if I was me now and we went to the theater and saw that together,
my vacation rankings, I'm going original first, Vegas second, Christmas third, European fourth.
It's very,
and then, well, I got to put in the new one too with Helm somewhere in
which
there.
Is very underrated.
It's pretty good, actually.
That was the one I'm like, oh God, they're doing that. Because if you've noticed, whenever like movie reboots are just terrible.
It's just a weird premise.
But that one, I mean, it wasn't really a reboot. It was
a new story. Yeah.
Well, it's still part of the same.
Yeah.
It's part of the same vacation universe.
Yeah. Which is always weird because every Audrey and Rusty is different, but that's okay. What's your ranking? You're going Vegas.
Vegas, Christmas, original. Vegas, Christmas, new, original, European.
Yeah. Everybody's got European last. And that was the second one. It's like, okay, we got to do another one. And I remember it's like, oh, they could do this with Hawaii, like all these locations. And
that was probably the plan. And
then the second one happened. You're like, I mean, it's okay. It's not that good, though. Look, kids, Big Ben, Parliament.
What was the game show they were on?
Pig and a Poke. Pig and a Poke. All right, so that's the football news with the Raiders. But let's get to the NBA and the Sacramento Kings last night. So the trade deadline's coming up. Again, I know there's a lot of thoughts on what the Kings should do. We're going to talk about this, too, with Brenden. I think when you look at the Kings and where they are, to me, I think there's a couple things you have to think about if you're the Kings front office, which, I think they think about lots of different roadmaps and different plans. We talked about where the Kings are amongst like the Pacific Division, not that that's the end all be all in the West, but the Lakers are always going to try to retool and re-engage and be competitive. But I mean, LeBron James, it will end at some point. And I don't think they're a championship team, but they're going to try to do something that works with AD and LeBron. And that's what they've tried to do and patch this together. The Clippers, I mean, their best player is Kawhi Leonard, and he's great when he's right, but that hasn't happened enough. I don't look at them as a championship team, but they've got an owner with a ton of money, and they'll always be aggressive. The Warriors have done a good job of staying relevant and competitive through all this long-term run that they've been on. They don't look like a championship team right now, but they've got enough pieces that I still think they can get this back into a better situation pretty quickly if they do it right, if they kind of thread the needle. And Phoenix seems to be the most aggressive, potentially going after Jimmy Butler. They've already had a big three that they've paid for, but they are going to be paying for this in the future. So the Kings are better set up than teams in their own division right now and probably going forward, but it's not about being set up. It's about where you want to go and where do you ultimately want to break through. So I like where the Kings are contractually. I like for the most part, the assets that they have in the future. There's some second-round picks that they don't have anymore, and they're still waiting on this first-round pick to be exchanged with Herter. But when you look at what they have as an offering piece to other teams, if I'm other teams and the Kings, but other teams around the league, what you either want right now are talent on your roster that could play for you right now, draft picks, so future, and or expiring contracts. So I don't think the Kings personally, I don't think they are thinking of right now moving off of Sabonis, Fox, Murray, Monk, Ellis, Carter. I don't think. I mean, right, unless the right deal is there. DeRozan, I don't think they are. So then you go to a piece like Kevin Herter, who there's some duplication. Some other guys are paid less and playing better than him and are higher up in the rotation. So Herter is a logical one that we've been talking about for a while. And his contract's not terrible. He's got one more year to go. And you could get something nice back for Kevin Herter if you got another team that's willing to look for a guy that might just need a new opportunity. And then you start to look at what other things. Draft picks, sure. I'm not sure how aggressive the Kings want to be with that as far as what they're looking to do. And then you look at the expiring contracts. The Kings have several of those. Some of them are in the smaller range, like Jordan McLaughlin, McDermott, Alex Len, Jay Crowder. And you got Trey Lyles at a pretty good chunk at $8 million. That's an expiring contract that could be an attraction for another team. But I think of Trey Lyles as a significant, pretty important piece to the puzzle as your bench. Doesn't mean you can't deal him. Doesn't mean you can't trade in what you think would be an upgrade for him. So I think the way the Kings have played and the way they constructed their roster, they know they're undersized. They've played with that. And I think front court, whether that's 3, 4, or 5 help, to me would be a priority. Probably some more shooting, overall depth on the bench. Now, how do you get that? Where is, like we have all talked about, and Dave and I have talked about, like, can you just get a guy like Valanciunas that he'll help a lot? Yeah, he would. He doesn't make a ton of money. He could fit across the board, but what other offers is Washington getting? Are they getting? Are they looking to do something bigger? Are other people offering bigger and better things than the Kings are? I don't even know if the Kings are talking to them about that. Cam Johnson's a name that's been mentioned. I'm intrigued, certainly, but how do you get him? What's the cost? Where does he fit? I mean, these are all the things you have to look at, and I think the Kings are in a spot where they got to kind of thread multiple needles here. I don't think they're in a position where they are a player away from being in that championship group. I don't think so. But you never know how that would land. I mean, if you get that player, I think you're breaking up more of that first tier that I was talking about. If you're looking to add to the edges, I think you're just trying to supplement what you've got and try to secure maybe a top 6 position, get the right matchup, and see how far you go in the postseason without mortgaging the future. So they've taken a big swing before. It's been a while since they went for Sabonis for Halliburton, but that's proven to be a pretty good result for the Kings, with certainly some question marks there. And, a lot of you have mentioned, Fox, it's time to move off of Fox. I'm not in that camp at all, but I'm not also ignoring that. I would play out the season. I would then have as good of a heartfelt sit-down conversation with De'Aaron and his camp and see what they think they want to do over the next year, his final year, because he's going to get paid a lot, whether it's by the Kings or someone else. And if you did want to pursue moving from him, you're going to get a lot in return. I just don't think that time is now. I think this team can still win a lot of games with him and has won a good amount of games with him and would still be an instrumental part in whatever run they've got left in them this regular season. So something to think about when you're looking to always, upgrade, add to a team, thinking do this, do that. They've got really good vibes right now. Doug's sending some good messages to this team. They're playing well. Doesn't mean you can't touch the team. But like I said, you've got to get the right personality in that complements the team, that helps them. You kind of got to thread those multiple needles like I'm talking about. Speaking of Doug, let's get to more of him. And he talked about De'Aaron Fox postgame last night after the Denver loss.
I haven't had a chance to see. I know medical, if that is, they will be looking at him, and I will get a report on it. But right now, he's Fox, so I'm not really. I don't worry about it. I hear a lot of stuff. I don't worry about him the same way a lot of people do. When he breaks through, he'll be fine. He's going to continue to be the gravity that we need as a special player. He understands how to draw double teams, get off the rock, help your teammates defensively. There are ways to impact the game. And again, for me, what he does not get equated by the box score. He does so much more.
Yeah, and the tough part, I would say this as just a reality for athletes. If De'Aaron Fox's finger and then maybe other hand now is bothering him, it may be, I don't know. De'Aaron won't publicly probably say much of that. The athletes don't do that, but you're playing. So the second you put on a uniform, even if you have a football player with a broken ankle or a major injury, if you're playing, you get evaluated. And so, man, that guy didn't have a very good game. They weren't playing very well today. What's wrong with them? Maybe it is the injury for some people, but if you play, you get critiqued. That's the way it works.
That, and I think it's tough for Fox because every athlete's going to have their ups and downs no matter what. It doesn't matter. No one's had just been like just this good. I don't know, maybe Jokic.
Yeah.
But it feels like whenever he's in like a slump, it's just like, oh, he's done. They got to get rid of him while they can. It's just like, he didn't forget how to be an amazing basketball player.
Right.
Like Doug is like, I'm not worrying about it. He's going to figure it out, and he's going to be the Fox that everyone expects him to be, and we'll be fine. And then the thing is at this moment, he's not hurting the team so bad towards just like, oh my God, we need to do something because he's their best player and they can't do anything without him.
Yeah. I mean, this stretch of, I think it's 4 games in a row where he's less than 20 points has dropped him to 12th in the league in scoring. He's still, you have averages for a reason. Anthony Davis, Devin Booker, Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Maxey, Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, LaMelo Ball, Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and SGA. That's the list of people scoring more points per game than De'Aaron Fox. It's a gift to have someone that talented. He's not playing well. He's not shooting well, I should say it that way. The league isn't all about points. That's what 90% of the people look at, and he's still the best on the team at it, even while he's struggling. But again, I will share, like the Warrior game, I think, is the prime example. He made his free throws when it mattered. He was an important part of what they were doing. But this team now, the way they're constructed, Keegan Murray, Malik Monk, Sabonis, and DeRozan can score and more than pick up the pace for De'Aaron Fox while he's struggling with his shooting. All right, when we come back, more on the Kings, more on the spot they're in, and with the All-Star reserves still to be announced, will the Kings hear their name? Will it be Sabonis? Will it be Fox? We'll kind of explain their chances when we come back next.
The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox is Sacktown Sports.
Spins away from the defender, in the paint, soft floater. That's a great play by De'Aaron Fox.
Hey Sacramento, it's De'Aaron Fox, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Coach Doug Christie here for your truck headquarters, reminding you that every deal at Folsom Lake Ford is a slam dunk. Shop all your favorite models on sale now, including America's best-selling truck for over 47 years, Ford F-Series, plus a huge selection of Broncos, Bronco Sports, and all of Ford's award-winning SUVs at FolsomLakeFord.com. Listen, I know a great play when I see one, and if you want to save on a new Ford, you got to drive the lane straight to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Right now, buy any new Ford with zero down on approval of credit. Save big with low interest financing, and Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. So hurry to Folsom Lake Ford, a 6-time Triple Crown winner for sales and service excellence. That's why they're my trusted dealer, and they should be yours too. Tell them Coach Doug Christie sent you, or shop them online at FolsomLakeFord.com.
Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140
on Sacktown Sports.
He's a special player, very poised. It goes along with what he does. I mean, and Domas, incredible numbers. He almost had a triple-double, so that's a crazy battle right there. And tonight, they got the better end of the battle. We will lick our wounds, and we will be ready to fight when we see them again. We'll be ready to go. But hats off to Jokic. I mean, he's a special talent, and I know for our guys at least, what you like is you always want to test yourself against the best. That's part of what it is.
That's Doug Christie talking about Nikola Jokic, who yesterday, 35 points, 22 rebounds, 17 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, out of this world, and including a shot that, wow. If you missed it, they'll be talking about this one for decades.
Decades, huh?
Still 1.7 seconds to go. Inbounds to the Joker, and he just hit an 85-footer. Oh, my goodness. With 1 fraction seconds, the Joker took the inbounds pass, casually turned left shoulder toward the basket, threw it almost the length of the floor, and hit nothing but net. That was incredible. And the Joker just calmly walks over and shakes hands with a couple of his teammates. I do this all the time. Nothing to it.
Light work for him. Amazing night. He was named an all-star yesterday as far as the starters go. And if you missed it earlier, we mentioned Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, Giannis, and Kat named the Eastern Conference starters. In the West, SGA, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Nikola Jokic. So what does that mean? That leaves 7 reserves still to be announced in the Western Conference. So can the Kings get an all-star? I think Fox at times this year has played like an all-star. Sabonis has played like an all-star the entirety of the year. There was even a moment I'm like, man, how about DeMar DeRozan? But I don't think it's going to happen for him as a 6-time all-star. The West is tough. And to kind of prove that point, last night, so TNT does the selection where they announce the starters, but they went to their crew. And again, they're not the end-all be-all, but they're a sample of guys that watch the NBA and have their opinions and agree or disagree. They started to pick their Western Conference reserves. So the 7 players they felt that deserve to represent the rest of the Western Conference All-Stars. Now, generally, I should say, what happens is you'll get 3 front court reserves, 2 back court reserves, and then 2 more spots. That's how they name the remaining 7. I said earlier, my suggestion would be just forget positions. Why does it matter? If you're an all-star, you're an all-star. So I'm going to read you the list of what Shaq and Kenny and Charles determined as their Western Conference reserves. And what you'll find is very similar lists, but not all the way across the board. And that's what's going to make this interesting. The only player that all 3 agreed should be an all-star in the West, they only agreed on one besides the starters, was Victor Wembanyama. So that Victor's named to all 3 of their lists. After that, there's some differences. I'll go give you Shaq's list first. He has Victor Wembanyama, Jalen Williams of the Thunder, Jaren Jackson Jr. Now, he had Steph Curry as a reserve, so that's part of the flaw there. Anthony Edwards, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden. So he went 4 guards with 3 front court players. So right there, I mean, I wish he would have done the exercise right with Steph Curry, but nonetheless, you know, what's interesting is no Luka, too many games missed. I mean, it's really going to be tough for De'Aaron Fox, who's played like an all-star, but right now he's not playing well. But again, it's not this week. I mean, De'Aaron Fox, look, if we were doing it after the week where he was player of the week and had 60 points followed by 49, he's MVP, but that's not the way this works. Kenny's list, we mentioned he has Victor Wembanyama. He too has Jalen Williams. He has James Harden. He has Ja Morant, Anthony Davis, Anthony Edwards, and Alperen Şengün. Charles Barkley's list, he has Victor Wembanyama. He also had Steph Curry as a reserve. Jalen Green, Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving. He has Norman Powell of the Clippers, and he was the only one that took a King. He took Domantas Sabonis. I think where it's tricky, the Kings are winning more now. That gets some attention. Wembanyama's had a phenomenal year, and he's the name the league is going out of their way to pump. That's fine to get his name out there, and as they should. He's a terrific young star. The trick for Sabonis to me is I'm looking at 2 guys and 2 teams that have far outperformed the Kings. You don't have to have an all-star with a winning record, but it seems like a little bit of a disservice to the team that Memphis, that doesn't have an all-star starter, probably should have an all-star. And both Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. have played like all-stars. So do you get both? Do you get one? Houston doesn't have an all-star starter. I think their 2 best candidates are Alperen Şengün and Jalen Green. Do you get both? Do you get one? Do you get none? So if it's the coaches going with Jaren Jackson Jr. and Şengün, that's 2 front court spots taken. We believe Victor Wembanyama would be taken. That's 3 of the front court spots. You could have 2 more front courts or 1 or none. Now you're talking about Anthony Davis. It's L.A. He had a ton of votes. They do factor that in a little bit as well. So it makes it a bit of a numbers game for Sabonis. There's going to be a good front court player that's left out. And then you go to the backcourt. I just think Fox is pinched in a numbers game. And he's got the benefit of a guy like Luka, who usually either gets voted in or is going to easily make it. He's on the fence with the limited number of games he's played. But Kyrie's back in the mix. He used to always be an all-star. He hasn't been in the West really in there. So it's tough for Sacramento. They either have to have a phenomenal record or just out-of-this-world stats that are that much better than everybody in their position. And that's not the case. I mean, Sabonis is doing some amazing things in leading the league in rebounding, leading the league in three-point percentage, double-doubles. These are all great, but great stats by Şengün, by Wembanyama. Wembanyama's not winning more than Sabonis. Şengün is. Jaren Jackson's winning more than Sabonis. So I think in the end, Sabonis is going to be right on the edge. And if I had to pick, I think he's going to make it. I think. Don't think Fox will. And so the Kings, even though the All-Star game is going to be right down the road, may not have a ton of representation there. But I think Sabonis will get there. And, a lot of times I always say, like, kind of once you get there, the first time is almost the most difficult. And then it's just like, oh, they're an all-star. They're an all-star. And you kind of stay there. But the West just is so loaded with so many good players. And, a guy that would make it a lot, Paul George, well, he left the conference. You get little things like that. But, LeBron's back in the West, has been there for a while. KD's in the West. James Harden really is having a good year. He's back in the West. Clippers are outperforming the Kings. So is it Harden? Is it Norman Powell? These are tough choices. And the other thing, could you extend the roster to 14? Do we even need that? I don't know. It's an all-star game. It's more about pride in being named. Certainly some financial incentives if you get that via contracts. But we'll see. I think those guys are right there on the fence. But Sabonis is closer than Fox at this point. All right, still to come. Like we said, coming up at 9 o'clock, we will visit with Brenden Nunes, our Sacktown Sports Kings insider. We also will see who's hot, who's not. We'll recap our 3 in the key predictions for Kings and Nuggets and 3 in the key for Saturday's game tomorrow, Kings and the Knicks. But when we come back, we'll dip back into football. If you missed it earlier, Pete Carroll has now been named the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. The impact of that and how that will look for him. But 4 Down Territory is next.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the San Francisco 49ers.
I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA3 Weather Center, and today expect to have increasing cloud cover from the morning on into the afternoon. Temperatures starting off in the 30s will be warming today into the mid to low 60s with winds anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
It's time to turn up the volume on live entertainment. Check out the Sacktown Sports live events calendar for the hottest events and shows coming your way. On February 18th, catch the incredible Miles Kennedy at Ace of Spades. His powerful vocals and raw talent will leave you speechless. Then gear up for an adrenaline-packed night with the Thunder Showdown boxing event at Thunder Valley on March 8th. Who will come out on top in the ring? Be there to find out. On March 9th, don't miss the legendary John Oates live at the Crest Theater, bringing you iconic hits and timeless melodies. If you're a country fan, mark your calendar for March 16th, when Alexandra Kay brings her heartfelt songs to Ace of Spades for an unforgettable evening. And on March 29th, get ready to rock the night away as Papa Roach and Rise Against take over the Golden One Center with an electrifying performance. Don't miss these amazing events. For more information and your chance to win tickets, head to SacktownSports.com. Sacktown Sports, your front row seat to the Sacramento area's best live entertainment. Don't miss the excitement of 49ers Game Day by securing your 2025 season tickets now. Inventory is limited, so speak with a representative. Dial 415-GO-NINERS and reserve your seats. That's 415-GO-NINERS.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With over 500 new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Serious accident. You deserve the law offices of Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237. Jeremy lost his mother in a car accident and knows firsthand the pain caused by tragedy. That is why he became an attorney to fight for others who are going through a tragedy. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, you deserve more. You deserve better. You deserve Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237.
You know, when it's all on the line, you need a big-time closer, and that's especially true when it comes to your garage door. And that's why I recommend National Garage Door, 638-4554. Whitey Gleason here for National Garage Door. Whether you're looking to repair an existing door or get a brand new one installed, you need National Garage Door. Family-owned and operated. They've been around since 1974 because service is their number one priority. National Garage Door are the region's BSE, that's broken spring experts. Styles, prices, and quality of the new doors will amaze you. Our garage door was starting to sound kind of, and that's not good. So Kevin from National Garage Door came out. He said patching up the old one was an option, but we're getting a new garage door. We're pretty happy about that. National Garage Door sells quality Rainer branded garage doors. They offer sales, service, and installation on all residential and commercial doors and operators. If you have garage door needs, old ones coming apart, or you're looking to improve your curb appeal, let National Garage Door come through for you in the clutch and be your closer. 638-4554, National Garage Door.
This year, resolve to save on the all-new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. With $8,000 off MSRP after rebates on over 30 new half-ton Silverado LT and RST. After rebates. And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area. $8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big. Huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers based on 2011 or newer Chevrolet.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sacktown Sports.
Chris, on the chat, I was just called horse glue. I think I'm going to take it as a compliment. Where is this? J. Ross is the horse glue that holds this rodeo together.
Oh. It's like when I think horse glue, I'm thinking bad horse, now glue.
Oh, bad horse. Let me introduce you to Clue. Yeah, I see where you're going. I don't know. Appreciate that.
Every time I hear that 24K Magic, I'm thinking, how is that not like the song for Sac State?
Stingers up, fingers to the moon.
Put your pinky finger to the moon. Like when they get the new stadium, he should open up the stadium, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be for that.
I need to talk to some people. Introduce me to some people.
Okay.
Let me tell them how this works.
Yeah. I'll say, look, I got an idea, man. He's pretty good at this.
Apparently there's a list of Chris ideas that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, on phones everywhere. What do you think is your best idea you've had?
Kings Rewind, obviously.
Yeah.
But besides that, I'll have to think about that.
Was that your idea?
I mean, I think my birthday party was a great idea.
Yeah?
Yeah. You were there.
Which one?
Huh?
Which one?
The last one I just had.
Yeah?
The MacGruber one.
It was a great idea.
Yeah.
Was I there? I was there. I was the first one to arrive. First to arrive.
Oh, you're loco, man.
The highlight of the day. Oh, that was such a good laugh. Such a good laugh. Now you got to top it, though. Now you got to try to beat that.
I know.
You could go back for a classic, Bring it back.
Do the movie thing again with another movie?
Maybe. Which movie would you pick, though?
I don't know.
You could do MacGruber again. I'd watch.
Because that was my second movie that I had there.
Oh,
the first time it was Blood In, Blood Out.
Okay. I'd go back to see MacGruber again.
Maybe we have a marathon of the MacGruber TV show.
We could, and then I would tell Dave and others to leave their phone out. Like, pay attention.
Yes.
Like, this is the part you need to see, and then like people are texting. I'm like, come on. It's a great movie. Enjoy it. All right.
Show a little class in the movie theater.
That's right. Lock in. Focus. We don't need to be locked into our phones. Come on. All right. We have Brenden Nunes coming up here at 9. But it is 4 down territory time. We got a big championship weekend in the NFL coming up. And again, news if you've missed it, just to remind you, if you had heard it already, Pete Carroll is back in the NFL. He is the new coach.
I paid my taxes.
Of the Las Vegas Raiders. Pete Carroll in Vegas, huh? Could you live in Vegas? That'd be a tough one, I think, for me. I like Vegas. I'm actually one of you like Vegas too, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Vegas.
I would have to live. The people that I know that have lived in Vegas haven't. I've got an aunt that's been there for a while, but like other people I know that lived in Vegas, it wasn't a permanent thing.
Yeah, and it's a lot of it's what Henderson and outside.
Yeah.
You know, you're not in the like if they want to do the things that Vegas can provide, sure, but you can also get that just outside. You don't have to be on the Strip. That's where everybody kind of congregates to. But anyway, all right, Pete Carroll, the new coach of the Raiders. Let's do it. 4 down territory, Chris. First down.
It looks like the 49ers could be reunited with Robert Saleh as their defensive coordinator. Do you like that move?
I do. I like it for a couple of reasons, but it's a move, right? The Niners need some upgrades defensively. That's the part. Look, when they even last year when they got to the Super Bowl and were that close to winning, it still was a team that had some flaws. They have not been great at stopping the run for the better part of a year or so. So Robert Saleh was a part of what I really liked of him with the 49ers in that defensive coordinator role. He had an energy to him. He had an energy that seemed to carry over to the defenses. Yeah, that kind of energy. No, maybe not that kind of energy. He had that with him. Same kind of thing was provided by DeMeco Ryan. I feel like that's been missing. And obviously, talent upgrade. That front group that was so good for so many years has been picked apart a bit. You know, losing Armstead, losing others, losing guys to injury. That's a factor. Obviously, health will be. But a move, yes, I like it. I like it as a guy that's back. It's familiar. Is good at his job. Has been a head coach. He's got that experience now, too. And if he's comfortable with that position, even while interviewing for head coaching jobs this offseason, it could be 1 year. That's okay. If he rejuvenates that defense, he did his job, he moves on, and the Niners replace him next year. But, yeah, I'm okay with that. If they sign him ultimately and they make some upgrades defensively, the Niners can bounce back on that side of the ball. All right, let's get to second down.
Game time temps to both the NFC and AFC championship games will be either in the low 30s to upper 20s. Could you brave it and attend those freezing games?
I mean, could, yes. Would I want to? No. I just wouldn't want to. Watching the games last week, 3 of the 4, right? Buffalo, Kansas City, Philadelphia. It just looked awful. It looked awful. I mean, like, it was a visual treat to watch the game in the snow just for us sitting on a couch in California and whatever keep your thermostat at in your house. It's like, man, that's crazy. Look at the snow. Look at the guys falling in the snow. Look at them clear the space for the kickers. That's fun. That's something we don't normally see. Yeah, I'm not in it. Could I? Of course. I feel like I could do anything I can make my mind up to. But I just wouldn't want to. I don't like to be uncomfortable. And that's an uncomfortable situation. Yes, you'll layer. You'll be as warm as you possibly can. Always felt in those situations, if you can keep your head, your hands, and your feet warm, you got a shot. The second any of that gets compromised, you're done. I mean, your internal, your core is likely, and you're going to have 10 layers on. You'll be fine there. But if you get your hands cold, your feet cold, your head cold, your ears, it's a bad scene. So I'm there to have fun, to watch the game, to be entertained. I don't want to get into a spot where I'm miserable, besides if that's the team I'm rooting for, they're losing. Not that part, not the elements you don't want to be. So count me out on that one. All right, third down.
Who you got in the AFC Championship, Chiefs or Bills?
I just think Kansas City's better. Not by a lot, but I think they're better. I think there's more flaws in Buffalo. I thought the Ravens would beat Buffalo last week, and then I think that game I would have picked Baltimore to finally get over the top. I just don't see it. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. Josh Allen's terrific. Their defense is good, but not great. I just think Kansas City's defense is fantastic. And then you got Mahomes. So, and you got history, you got Andy Reid, you got home field. I'm picking. That's the question. I'm going to go with Chiefs. Not that that's a stunner by any means. So, yeah, give me the Chiefs. All right, 4th down.
Who you got in the NFC Championship? Eagles or Commanders?
I don't know if I'm doing this to be contrarian or to be different. Yesterday when we had this question as a point spread, I'm like, I like the Commanders. So within, to keep it within a touchdown. But if they're doing that, quarterback play is so important. Jaden Daniels is playing at a level that no one expected at this point, even though a lot of people had high hopes for him. If, by chance, the Commanders can control Saquon Barkley, stay in the game, I just have this weird feeling that Washington can do it.
Statistically, Daniels has been like the best to keep the ball, not make any dumb plays, no fumbles, no interceptions, few touchdowns. You got to do that and then trust your defense.
Yeah, and they got a good special teams. He could make some plays with his legs, certainly with his arm. They got good receivers, solid enough running game. Weird things happen. It's not shocker. They beat him before. They had a great comeback to beat him a few weeks before the end of the regular season ended. So, yeah, I'll do it. Let's take the Commanders.
I want the Commanders to win just so I can have the limelight back.
So what's going on there? Philly fans have taken it over?
Yeah, you can't go there for a football game. I can't go there for the championship games.
Too uncomfortable?
Huh?
Will they leave? Wait, what's the order? What game's first? Would they leave after the first game, or are they just coming in for this? Let me make sure I've got this right. Yeah, they're the first game. So, would they bail out?
No.
They're still – if they win, they're probably celebrating.
Yeah.
Just too many of them? Outnumbered? Or
Yeah,
annoying or both?
When have you seen a great gaggle of the Eagles fans? It's if they all gather together, it's just going to be awful.
I always find that interesting that in certain communities, there are specific bars. When I was doing the Raiders pre-half and post for a station in the Bay Area, the station was centered in San Francisco. And a lot of road games, I wouldn't travel with the Raiders. The home games, I'd be at the stadium. But the road games, I would be at the studios. And they were in San Francisco. We'd walk up to a place to get sandwiches. And it was a Pittsburgh Steelers bar in San Francisco. And I just always marvel, wait, did they know? And it's word gets out and it's Sundays, just Steeler fans are there. I think that's
social media has also really helped that.
Yeah, but how is it? Is it start from the owner? Or
I know the former manager of the Limelight, he was from Pennsylvania and is a huge Eagles fan. So I think that's where it started.
Yeah. But it's so weird. So there's probably is there a Giants bar? Is there a Lions bar? Do you have enough of that, or just hey, there's some Lion fans that come to watch this game? I don't know. But that one is an Eagles. If you're an Eagles fan, go to the Limelight.
Hey, YouTube, you've got a football bar? Let us know.
Yeah. Where is your bar of choice, and is it related to the team, and just your team watches there? Let us know. All right, break time for us. When we come back, who's hot? Who's not? Recap 3 of the key and see our predictions did for yesterday's Kings-Nuggets game, and we'll give you one for tomorrow night in New York. That's all coming up on Sacktown Sports.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis, put the frosting on the cake, put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a two-hand clutch makes it 114-106.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Elk Grove Honda reports that Honda has earned 3 coveted 2025 Car and Driver 10 Best Awards for the 3rd year in a row, honoring the Honda Civic, Honda Accord, and Honda CR-V. Honda Accord wins for a record 39th time. You can see and drive all the new 2025 award-winning models at Elk Grove Honda and see why Honda cars and trucks continue to impress the critics. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Insurance companies perform a very valuable service, but they want to keep their money. Although most cases settle before trial, it is paramount that the insurance companies know that if pressed, your legal team has the experience to take your case all the way. For 25 years, Ashton & Price has earned the reputation that if the insurance company isn't fair, we're ready to force them to be fair. My mom used to warn me, wait till dad gets home. Think of us as dad. The best part, there's no fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Don't miss the excitement of 49ers game day. Secure your spot at Levi Stadium for the 2025 season.
20, one block and he's in.
Season tickets are available now. Inventory is limited, so to speak with a representative, call 415-GO-49ers.
Touchdown!
That's 415-GO-49ers.
San Francisco!
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Welcome to Staples.
I am so pumped. My business is going to kill it this year.
Awesome. How can I help?
First, a new computer.
With Staples Home and Office Hot Deals, you save big on tech.
And new posters.
Save on custom printing, too.
And,
a new chair?
A chair. Who has time to sit?
Maybe all your new clients?
Now you're talking.
With Staples Home and Office Hot Deals, you'll find huge savings on custom prints, storage, chairs, and tech. And now save up to $175 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 2/1.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
A new year means new roads to explore. Grab the keys to a new Toyota and make adventure your resolution. Shop the industry's best lineup of hybrid SUVs like the RAV4 Hybrid, Grand Highlander Hybrid, redesigned Land Cruiser, or all-new 38 MPG Toyota Crown Signia. Every new Toyota includes Toyota Care, 2 years of complimentary scheduled maintenance. Kick off your best year yet in a new Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
What's hot and what's not. Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company, and second opinion partner.
Chris Rod, question for you. Who is hot?
Nikola Jokic. In yesterday's Nuggets win, 132-123 over the Kings, Jokic led with 35 points, 22 rebounds, and 17 assists. He didn't just lead in that game, though. He led in every NBA game yesterday. He is the first player in NBA history to lead all players in points, rebounds, and assists, where at least 8 games were played.
Nobody had more than 35 points?
Yeah.
That's weird. The rebounds and assists I buy. The 22 and 17. I don't know. I might want to look at this because let me do a quick stat check on the Joker. Because coming into the game yesterday, he did it. Okay. He was at 9.9 assists. So remember the season Westbrook averaged a triple-double, then did it for a couple more years? Joker's there.
So this just popped up that I saw. So this season, he is averaging 30.2 points per game. That's more than Shaq ever did. He's averaging 13.4 rebounds per game. That's more than Duncan ever did. He's averaging 10.1 assists per game. That's the most by any center. 1.9 steals per game, more than when Smart won the Defensive Player of the Year. And he is shooting 47.9% from three. That's more than Steph has ever shot.
I mean, if he wins another MVP.
It's just disgusting, too. It looks like he's never even trying, ever.
Isn't that the truth? Like, yeah. I mean, some of these guys, you'll never be able to duplicate their height and all that and some of their God gifts. But his gifts, I hope people realize how incredible they are. It's marveling what he's doing. His skill set is incredible. And trying to think of the all-time, how many people have won multiple MVPs like that? Bill Russell has 5. Chamberlain has 4. Kareem has 5. If he gets a 4th, it'd be more than Bird, more than Magic, 1 less than Jordan, the same as LeBron. I mean, where will he go down as one of the greats of all time? Like, we always want to do that GOAT conversation for whatever reason, which I think is just meaningless, but we do it. Wow. He's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Well, he's hot, so someone has to be on the other side. Who's not?
Paolo Banchero. Yesterday, the Magic lost the Blazers 101-79. Banchero had 8 points, was 1 of 14 from the field, and 0 of 4 from 3.
That's crazy. And that they finally had him back with Wagner, and they got worked by the Blazers. I mean, that was kind of stunning. I'm thinking
gross.
I'm thinking back to the year Embiid won it. That could have been Joker. If that had played out to be the Joker, he'd had 4 in a row. It's incredible. And that stat line yesterday was, I mean, you look at Sabonis' stat line, which was so good, it just pales in comparison to what we saw the Joker do. So kind of with that said, let's see how we did on our predictions, because that was one of ours that we had yesterday. Time to revisit our 3 in the key. All right, we asked Dave, myself, and Chris yesterday the stat line, points, rebounds, assists with the Joker and Sabonis. We'll start with Sabonis. Dave predicted 18, 13, and 7, and then 24, 10, and 10 for Joker. I said 22, 17, and 5 for Sabonis, 27, 11, and 13 for the Joker. Chris said 22, 14, and 6 for Sabonis, 27, 13, and 9 for the Joker. Well, Sabonis had 23, 19, and 8. So we were all kind of right around that. The Joker, though, none of us predicted the 35, 22, and 17. Chris, I think you were the only one that didn't give him a triple-double. But look, those stat lines, both very staggering and impressive. Our next one, we asked De'Aaron Fox, who's been struggling shooting from the floor, what his shooting night would look like. Dave predicted 6 of 14. I said 7 of 18. Chris said 8 of 17. De'Aaron ended up 7 of 24. Rough shooting night again for him. And then the last part, we had to make another prediction, something we thought would happen in the game that wouldn't necessarily be in the box score. Well, Dave said that Jokic will play in the fourth quarter, something you wanted to say, Chris, but Dave beat you to it. And he was not scheduled to because they had such a big lead, but thanks to McDermott, the Kings have made a frenetic rally, forced to put Joker back in the game. I said Malik Monk would have 30 or more points. So close. He had 15. And Chris said that Westbrook would have a triple-double. Westbrook had 18 points, 5 rebounds, and a couple of assists.
Because Jokic took everything.
I know. Westbrook was good, though. And that was a move going to Denver. I was like, I'm not sure how that's going to work for them. It's worked very, very well for the Denver Nuggets. So there you go. That is yesterday's 3 in the key. Why don't we do another one? Let's do tomorrow's. Okay, so Chris, let's. This is mano a mano, me versus you on this one. We're going to go with the first and last King to score in the game tomorrow in New York. I'm going to go with Sabonis and DeRozan.
I'm going to go with Fox and Murray.
Again, Murray. Since yesterday, Doug McDermott led the bench in scoring. The Kings have had a little bit of variance there lately. I am going to take As the leading bench scorer is our next prediction, Keon Ellis with 14.
I will take Keon Ellis. No, I'm going to say for the hometown boy, Kevin Herter.
Oh, wow.
With 13.
After I just went through a whole thing about how these minutes now should go to Doug McDermott, Herter's going to go back to New York and light up the night. I like it. Lastly, random stats, something you're predicting, something that, like I said, may not be in the box score, maybe, but just something different that you're predicting. I'm going to say the Kings will stay perfect under Doug Christie in winning the fourth quarter. They're going to win another fourth quarter. Remember, they've tied 2. They've won all of the rest, including last night. So, yeah, they stay perfect in fourth quarters under DC.
Okay, people are going to call me insane for saying this.
Uh-oh.
De'Aaron Fox is going to have 30 or more points.
Ah, no. I'm ready for that. You think it's the big stage?
I think so.
Going against Brunson, too. I love it. 30 or more for De'Aaron Fox. You said you had been to New York before, but not.
No.
Oh, you hadn't been. Oh, not at all. Okay. You said you would go there. Yeah.
Yeah. Philadelphia a couple times in their airport. Never outside.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's kind of the one rule. I don't know. I don't count airports, but
that's like that's like my only East Coast experience.
Gotcha. Yeah. I was so, I remember going to the Garden the first time and you just hear about it. It's like so historic.
When I was explained like, oh yeah, it's not actually the arena isn't the entire building. It's like you go up to the 4th floor or something. I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I did. Well, since I didn't enter that way, I was with at the time that I've been there twice. Yeah, I think both were with the Monarchs. And, you're on the bus, you kind of go into different areas. And then when you walk in, it just, I don't know how else to describe it. I kind of had this is it? In a disappointing way almost, because it was like, wait, I've heard so much about, this was pre-renovation, by the way. But still, all the history, like, I don't know why I thought this would be different than it is. But then you kind of then start, I don't know. And then a feeling came over me like, man, you look at the banners and you look at different things. You're like, there's a banner up there for, I can't remember how many appearances Billy Joel's had there, but the Rangers, the Knicks, and you're just like, man, there's been some pretty significant things that have happened. Fights, concerts. You're like, yeah, I guess this is historic.
The Strokes played there from time to time.
Did they?
Yeah.
But post renovation, I haven't been there, but it's still a lot like LA. And as far as the star power, the celebs that show up, it's Saturday night tomorrow. I mean, that'll be kind of cool for the Kings to be in that experience.
How would you feel if you were there and you were like, oh, if only it was a Sunday game so I could go see Saturday Night Live?
I know. That's still my ultimate bucket list / dream is to have the Kings play in New York and staying in, like they are now. Like this is a 4-day trip in New York. It's just they play on Saturday night with a Saturday Night Live having a show tomorrow night.
See, but then you said that you would want to go to the show that's on TV, right?
No, I wouldn't be picky. I wouldn't.
No, but if you had to choose,
I'd rather have the one that's on TV just because I could say I went to that one. Yeah. But the dress rehearsal
would be the one that I would want to do.
Yeah, because then you could tell later, like, oh, you know what, this skit was so funny it didn't even make it on the air, or it was different than when it was, officially done live and on the air. So, still got to make that happen at some point. All right, final hour for the week coming up. In the hour, Friday Fun and Games, celebrity birthdays, what to watch. We will preview the Kings and Knicks tomorrow. And when we come back, we're going to talk with Brenden Nunes, Sacktown Sports Kings insider. Get the very latest from him. That is next on Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Attention diabetics and weight loss patients. Are you or a loved one suffering complications after taking Ozempic, Wegovy, Rybelsus, Mounjaro, or Zepbound? These medications may be linked to serious gastrointestinal illnesses and other severe side effects leading to hospitalization or permanent injuries. If you've been hospitalized after taking these medications, you're not alone. We understand your pain and frustration and will stop at nothing to help you get the compensation you deserve for your suffering. If you've been diagnosed with gastroparesis, chronic vomiting, deep vein thrombosis, DVT, or experienced intestinal blockage requiring surgery, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Call the Tort Defenders Helpline and find out immediately if you qualify. Get the justice you deserve. Call 888-900-LAW-1 today for a free consultation. That's 888-900-LAW1. Remember, time is limited to file, so don't wait. Call 888-900-LAW-1 today. Paid for by Tort Defenders. Tort Defenders is not a law firm and does not provide legal services.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Emily Neal's 70-inch TV. Because after watching her second-grade students yell at each other for hours, there's nothing Emily enjoys more than watching super-rich housewives also yell at each other. Why? Because those women are not her responsibility. And that's why her TV is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
There's no better time than the beginning of a new year to get ready to make good on all of those promises you've made to yourself about getting fit. And there's no better place than In Shape Fitness to get the ball rolling or bouncing. So grab some friends for a game of pickup basketball on our courts. Or stretch your limits in a yoga or Pilates class. In Shape personal trainers are standing by, just waiting for the opportunity to help you create a happy new you. We are In Shape. You are ready. Join online today at InShape.com.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks, like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Golden One Center this week. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Lock in your seats today at monsterjam.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
All right, here we go. Final hour for the week. Jason Ross, Chris Millar, Carmichael Dave. Today he's back with us on Monday. Kings lose last night to Denver. A lot of Denver. Denver was really good last night. Joker was sensational. Kings had a nice fourth quarter rally, but ultimately first loss in a while for the Kings. So that's what you want to try to do is avoid streaks. It'll be tough tomorrow, though, going into New York. We'll talk about that coming up here. And let's do that with our Sacktown Sports Kings insider, Brenden Nunes, joining us here on this Friday morning. Good morning, Brenden. How are you?
Morning, Jason. Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. I got to check in with you on, I know with Frankie, on daddy duties, a little more responsibility for you. How are things going on your end?
Yeah, a little busier, but doing all right. Can't complain. Happy for Frank, obviously, and glad to fill in the meantime.
Yeah, well, you guys do great work. We always appreciate what you provide for our all the entertainment out there, all the content, we should say, on sacktownsports.com. You can check out Brenden and all the work you're doing there. A lot of Kings stuff going on right now, and more good than bad, certainly, Brenden. It's been quite a turnaround for the Kings. Last night, I don't think was ultimately that surprising to me. And, I've been saying on the show, I'd be curious your opinion. Look, part of it was the back-to-back. I mean, that was pretty tough scheduling for the Kings, but I think that's doing a disservice to Denver. They're playing really well, and Joker's out of this world. And I think the Kings just ran into a buzzsaw last night.
Yeah, second night of a back-to-back in Denver is a really tough thing to deal with. I think they got in early morning the night before. Denver's one of those cities where it takes a sec to get to the hotel afterwards, I believe, as well. So tough circumstances. I thought the fact that they fought back from, I believe it was down 25, and they cut it to even 6 late in that game was super encouraging. And Doug McDermott was a big part of that, obviously. I want to say he went 4 or 5 from 3. He caught fire in a way that totally blew my mind. And it's funny, it seems like he just kind of has a knack of doing that. Obviously, he's a known shooter, but to come in and just be on fire like that after not playing for a handful of games is extremely impressive. So not great defense in those first 3 quarters, which I think has kind of been what's propelled them through a lot of this winning streak, but they stepped it up in the fourth and gave themselves the chance to win a game that honestly, it felt like they had no business winning. So I'm usually not a, silver linings moral victory guy, but I did kind of feel encouraged after that one a little bit.
On the McDermott front, Brenden, my thought was, look, the bench has not been playing that well, but I mean, then the positive is the starters have been incredible. Just the totality of the numbers they're producing has put it in a spot where they haven't needed as much from the reserves. But what McDermott did yesterday, and not just yesterday, but like you said, a few other times he's been able to catch fire like this. Should he be higher in the rotation than guys like Herder and Carter at this point?
Yeah, I think it's tough to judge. I think Kevin would be the one, Kevin Herder, obviously. Not been playing very many minutes recently, a handful of games where he's still sitting in single digits, actually, even in minutes or in that low teens. And it's a little bit of a tough situation because it's, been known for a while that he's the obvious matching salary in any potential deal. And you don't want to, I guess, mess with his value all too much. Not that it's in the greatest spot right now initially in the first place necessarily. But I would probably try to give Doug a little bit more opportunity after just that little stretch that he had, or, maybe be a little bit quicker that in the second quarter, for example, if you realize that you're struggling to score, then maybe you just pull that lever of going to Doug because, hey, we need something right now a little bit quicker than waiting till that fourth quarter. So I think that I would probably give him a little bit longer of a leash in these upcoming games, to give him a little bit of a shot, see how he can fit in, if he can provide you a little bit more size. But you're going to be playing a little bit of some larger lineups out there. And as long as McDermott can survive defensively, I think that he's right now making you think that he might be just as good, if not better, of an option than really Kevin Herder in my mind.
Brenden Nunes, Sacktown Sports Kings insider with us. I want to talk to you about De'Aaron. He's been, a lot of comments coming in on our YouTube chat, certainly on our text line about De'Aaron, who has struggled here. It's about a 5-game stretch, I would say, where his efficiency has been subpar. Still doing, production there he'll get his points, but not to the level that we've seen. So that's below, but certainly his shooting percentage, his rebounds and assists are still kind of what he does. But What do you attribute this to with De'Aaron here over about the last 5 games?
Yeah, first of all, I would say that I think his hands have kind of been bothering him. He has the fingers on one side that have been bothering him. You saw him holding his thumb on the right yesterday as well, and I think there may be something there with that. The extent that he was kind of holding it, looking down on it, you could see him wear it on his face a little bit at times, just kind of going through pain there. So not to start with an excuse, but I do think it's a reality that some of that is going on. And at the same time, they're winning games, and DeMar DeRozan is carrying a lot of the weight offensively. Domantas Sabonis is getting more shots up, and obviously they have Malik Monk sitting there as well. So I think that De'Aaron is okay with playing a little bit of a backseat at times if everybody else is rolling. And like I mentioned, DeMar specifically, I think it's the one that's sort of catching a rhythm right now. De'Aaron is still the one that's guarded by the best defender on a night-to-night basis. DeMar DeRozan had Buddy Hield on him rather than Andrew Wiggins because Wiggins was guarding De'Aaron Fox, for example. And I want to say yesterday was similar. I believe Christian Brown was on De'Aaron Fox while Russell Westbrook is the one guarding DeMar DeRozan. So just that in itself, I think, does help the team. But I would guess that the couple of lingering injuries definitely seem to be affecting him. And I was worried even more so yesterday when he kept looking at that right thumb and just sort of seemed to be in pain. So I think that that's playing a factor. I think it's also easy to forget that that's getting talked about, and he's just coming off that glute injury, which you never know how much that could affect like your planting and initial pace, the burst that a player might have. I don't feel like we've seen him take off at 100% speed quite yet. So again, I know I'm making a lot of excuses, but I think point being that he's kind of beat up right now and okay with letting other people, I guess, steal the show a little bit and somewhat functioning as a little bit of a decoy out there while still trying to make sure that he's setting up his teammates, playing good defense. And so numbers are down a little bit, but still a really good stretch of basketball that he's been able to contribute to. I
think there's a lot of anticipation. I know you'll have some pieces written over the next couple of weeks with the trade deadline now 13 days away, I believe. And specifically regarding the Kings, I think everybody believes they want to add. Where do you think they go here? Because Brenden, I maintain they kind of got multiple needles to thread here, and it's possible. I mean, I could see them adding depth, a little bit more help in the front court, maybe more shooting, without compromising kind of this core 6 to 7 that's found a groove here. So, and they're pretty well set up for future moves too. Where do you think their points of emphasis might be with this deadline coming up?
Yeah, I think it's still the same thing that we thought it would be the last 2-3 years, the wings and forwards that this team desperately needs. It's really, if we're not counting Doug McDermott right now, which I think is a fair assumption, it's Keegan Murray and Trey Lyles are the only reliable wings forwards on this team right now, and you need more size. I think in the NBA, that's why a guy like Andrew Wiggins gives you trouble. I think that's part of the reason they struggled against the New Orleans Pelicans last year with their Trey Murphys, Herb Jones types, with those lengthier shooters that can get around the rim and use that length athleticism to finish. I mean, I think it's kind of the blueprint in the modern NBA, length, athleticism, and skill. And those guys being able to shoot, do a little bit of everything. And the Kings need more of that. So I expect them to be pretty active in trying to do that, as they have been and has been reported. There's Cam Johnson out there. I think John Collins is a guy that makes a lot of sense. And it seems like a very Monty McNair scenario to me. I've always described them as advantageous. And Collins is a guy that feels like he has a low asking price, especially relative to what his production is. And so that just feels like the type of move that I would expect them to make. And maybe that you try to clean up something with the backup center, which I think gets mentioned a lot as well, because I mentioned Kevin Huerter earlier as the obvious matching salary. Trey Lyles is the other one that obviously falls into that. And if you're not super comfortable with Alex Len, which I think he's a little bit up and down at this point in his career, then Trey is sort of your backup center right now, but you include him in a deal, and all of a sudden you have another hole there. So I would say a wing forward that is more starter caliber, and then probably a backup big would help a bit as well. Although you do have Isaac Jones sitting there waiting, as they haven't been using some of his two-way eligibilities, and maybe they're saving that for a little bit later down the year.
Do you personally have a preference of where you say plug this player or players to the Kings and this can really help them in the second half? Like your personal preference?
Yeah, I mean, I do think I like John Collins. He's shooting the lights out this year. I think the length and athleticism is great. You know, you give him a lob partner for Malik Monk, for De'Aaron there as well. I think having that bench unit with De'Aaron, I think one of the things they do really well is they run the floor, and John Collins plays into that really well. Obviously mentioned the athleticism, the shooting's there. I think not the greatest wingspan, but like some small semblance of, at times, specifically in Atlanta, doing some rim protection stuff at the 4, which I think is kind of interesting. And you might not also need a backup 5. Like you might get your stretch wing forward and a backup center as a 2-in-1 there with John Collins. So definitely a guy that interests me and might not take that much to acquire. You know, 1 or 2 second-round picks. I feel like there's a world where that somehow becomes enough, and maybe that means you're rerouting Kevin Huerter or Trey Lyles somewhere else so they can get more in a deal. But that's a guy that does make a lot of sense to me. I think Cam Johnson obviously is the most ideal fit and the best player. I just am unsure about that asking price of, say, it's unprotected first. That's just a little steep for my taste.
Yeah, I want, before we wrap up with you, Brenden, I want to follow up on the Collins thought. I'm a little surprised. You think the asking price would be low for him based on? I'm going on Danny Ainge's track record, who just has proven to acquire just pick after pick after pick from some of these moves he's made. You don't think he would be asking for the world?
I don't think so. I mean, like the Vanderbilt trade, I feel like people kind of forget sometimes of when they traded him to the Lakers. You know, people are joking about Danny Ainge just helping the Lakers, I guess, which was always funny to me and seemed a little bit backwards. But they didn't give those guys up for that much. I think they know their direction, and they have their own protected pick. I forget who it's owed to this year. But they clearly know their direction, and kind of just reading between the lines of talking to some people that cover their team a little bit or what the reports are, you know, they want a first-round pick, it seems to be, for John Collins. But if you're not going to get that, then you got to kind of play to the market in a way. So, Danny Ainge definitely has that reputation, but I think it's also just sort of the reality of where their team is currently at right now.
Well, it's something that's going to be worth watching. I know you'll be all over it over the next couple of weeks. Deadline coming. Kings tomorrow in New York against the Knicks as the road trip continues, and you'll have all the recaps and opinion pieces on that. Brenden, keep up the great work. Always look forward to talking to you on Fridays, and we'll talk to you next week.
Appreciate it, Jason. Have a good one.
All right, thank you. That is Brenden Nunes from our Sacktown Sports Kings Insider, one of the two with him and Frankie. We appreciate their work at all times. All right, we will break. When we come back, we will look at that game tomorrow, Kings and Knicks. That's a tough matchup for Sacramento. Good Knicks team. We'll preview that when we come back here on Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Everyone has a past, but what happens if you've made mistakes and made good on that past, but it keeps following you? Are you looking for an attorney to erase past records and restore your rights? Maybe even restore your gun rights? Do you need a reputable criminal defense attorney who knows even good people make bad mistakes? Well, the attorneys at Gonzalez Law Office are here to help. Find Gonzalez Law Office online at saclegaldefense.com or call them at 916-304-9187. We don't settle for less, and neither should you.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find: happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
The only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and vocal.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Yeah, very, very pleased, but that's obviously not the outcome that we want. We don't use excuses of the back-to-back and the altitude and the number across the chest of however many feet we're up at sea level and all that. It's part of what it is. I've been here, I played, you get a second win, and all of a sudden you're good. And I thought that we burned through that, and we started to find our way a little bit. But you got to give them credit. They're at home. They're playing at a really high level right now. And we ran into a bit of a buzzsaw, and we didn't back away. That was part of my message into them. We do not back up. We do not step to the side. We go forward every time, regardless of the opponent.
Yeah, I like that. Look, you're going to lose. They played a good team, a team that's better than the Kings. And they were at home. They were playing well coming in. They played well in the game. There's some mismatches, I think, that are inherently there. The Joker was phenomenal.
Jokic is having a lifetime run right now.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Right. I think he's done this pretty much all year, but specifically the last month, he's been absurd. And so timing is part of it too. Look, Joker is still a phenomenal player, but even when they played him a month ago, he wasn't playing what he's doing now statistically. So he's incredible. And look, there are other great when the Kings are running on all cylinders, they could beat everybody. They really can. They weren't last night. They weren't as sharp as they've been. Let's be honest too. Look, in this run the Kings have been on, they have played a lot of teams that have not had their full roster. That's part of it. I mean, and look, Denver had everybody pretty much. Everybody that's of significant importance to their win-loss outcome. So they had a lot of things going against the Kings, and Denver played well. So I'm going to put more of this on Denver. I like what Doug said there. The Kings fight, though. They kept with it, stayed with it. Didn't really have a chance to win, though they made Denver work for it all the way to the end. And I like that. McDermott and company in that fourth made it very, very interesting. All right, let's go to the phone lines, check in this morning with Dwayne. Dwayne, good morning. Thanks for calling. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good, fellas. I appreciate you guys taking my call right now.
Yeah. What you got?
The same problems keep coming up with the Kings, and not to take anything away from Christie and what the gang is doing, because they're balling. They got a lot of offensive firepower, but we've been talking about the deficiencies and how if they get the right trade, they're going to move up in the West. And there's a lot of parity, and a lot of guys don't play these days, and the Kings should take advantage of it. But my question is to you guys, because I don't have any patience left. I wanted the trade to be done before January 1st. So I'm asking you guys, and I'm going to hang on because I want to listen.
Okay.
Is he even going to make a trade?
All right. Well, I don't know would be the worst answer I could give you, but I don't know. I mean,
the last couple of, since the Sabonis trade, the last couple of trade deadline moves haven't been world changer type of thing.
No. And I know from experience that Kings fans want a trade. They want something different. I get that. I do too, personally. I would like to see just a little bit of something. This is me, Dwayne, and thank you for the call. So my short answer is I don't know. I think the plan is to make the team better. And you've heard this phrase before, and I'll repeat it from others. You don't trade just to trade. So it's not People will think better of us because they made 3 trades. If the trades aren't better for you, then what's the point?
We've got too many guards. We'll get rid of one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what are you getting back?
Right. I think that logic to me, Chris, would say Kevin Huerter is the odd person out. I think he's an asset for some. Like, look, he's not an all-star, and no one's pretending that to be the case. But someone would be interested in Kevin Huerter. Can you find that someone, and can you get someone from that team that you feel makes you better? That to me is kind of the first question. And I brought it up earlier. What are other assets you have? Well, Fox, Sabonis, Murray. I mean, go down the list of like your core players. A lot of people would want Keegan Murray. A lot of people would want De'Aaron Fox. A lot of people would want those guys. Do the Kings even remotely want to trade them? So I personally think, this is, again, all my opinion here, I think they would like to make a move to add either more shooting or more depth and or size to the bench. That's my belief. I think they're more than comfortable with this starting 5. I think they like Keon Ellis and like Carter, wouldn't like to move them. That's my hunch on your top 7. I think they would be moved to move draft picks if that other team would do that, if that helps close a deal. I don't think they're seeking to do that. So that's what you have to think of, all these things. Like Brenden just brought up John Collins. I'm not as high as John Collins as others are, but I also, part of my reservations, I personally think, on my experience, Danny Ainge is going to ask for the world. That's why I was a little surprised from Brenden. Now, Brenden could be right, but, I mean, the history of Danny Ainge in trades is he, on the surface, primarily wins them. So if you're getting John Collins, you're getting a good player, a player that could help the Kings. But I'm sure he's probably said, yeah, I want Keegan Murray. I want Keegan Murray, Ellis, and 2 first-round picks. Wait, what? No. But this is me speaking for Danny Ainge. I don't know if these are his offers. So there are 2 sides to this. We all look at it very one-sided from the Kings and just say, yeah, they need a backup big. Go get him. They need another 3-and-D guy on the wing. Go get him. They probably need another shooter. Go get him. Yes, yes, and yes. But you got to give up something to get him. And are you comfortable with, I feel like every Kings fan right now in their mind hearing this, go, yeah, move Huerter. Sure. Yes, I agree. But does Huerter get you that player that you go, like, okay, let's pick Valanciunas is a name Dave and I have talked about. I could see the fit. I could see the need. I could see the use for a guy like Jonas Valanciunas backing up Domantas Sabonis and maybe even playing with him at times. He makes $10 million. Kevin Huerter makes $17 million. If you're Washington, you're going, yeah, okay, I see why you're trying to give us Kevin Huerter. He's a younger player that we could still probably utilize. But we got this piece that we know a lot of teams want in Valanciunas. We want you to give us more. Well, the way the contracts are constructed, Washington would have to give more to the Kings. So then how do you make it work? Do you give them Lyles, McLaughlin, a couple expirings, Lyles and Len? Oh, I do that. Well, would Washington? So again, you got to think about it from both sides. You got to wonder what the conversations are like. And again, long way to go, Dwayne, to say I don't know. I think they want to. But if the trade deadline came and went, I know, and the Kings didn't make a trade, I know Kings fans will be upset. I just know it. Easy to predict that. But I don't even know what the trade would be. But let's say they made 2 trades and they didn't work, whatever that is, or they didn't help the team. Well, they made trades. That's what you wanted. You got to make sure you get it right. That's the tough spot of the job. That's what they get paid for. And they got to figure out a way to do that. All right, break time for us. Thank you, Dwayne, for the call. When we come back, what to watch? Celebrity birthdays as well before we get to Friday Fun and Games and check in with Alan Stiles. That's all coming up right here on Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Kevin Huerter is Sacktown Sports.
I'm a pizza guy. Huerter's open, steps into 3. He's got the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Kevin Huerter, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA3 Weather Center, and today expect to have increasing cloud cover from the morning on into the afternoon. Temperatures starting off in the 30s will be warming today into the mid to low 60s with winds anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
Elk Grove Honda reports that Honda has earned 3 coveted 2025 Car and Driver 10 Best Awards for the 3rd year in a row.
honoring Honda Civic, Accord, and CRV. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Autumn Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
My good friends over at Jiffy Lube have an amazing New Year oil change special going on right now for the month of January. Get a full synthetic oil change starting at just $76.99 with a $33 off coupon online. That's right, starting at just $76.99 for a full synthetic motor oil change with a $33 off online coupon from jiffylube.com today. Offer valid for up to 5 quarts of premium motor oil, specialty vehicles, and diesel extra. Happy New Year from Jiffy Lube.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery from the law firm of Gingery, Hammer & Associates. When you have been injured by the fault of another, you will want advice you can trust. If you know an attorney you can trust, I hope you call that person. But if you don't, please call me. I promise I will be the attorney you can trust, along with my entire team. I have been helping accident survivors recover compensation for their injuries for 25 years, and we can help you. There's no charge for calling. If you have an injury, just call Gingery.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and Clear Skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Johnny Mosley with Friday's Toyota Tahoe report. The weather's looking a little iffy up here for sure, but there's still plenty of fun to be had on the mountain. Pack a couple extra layers, load up your Toyota, and head on up here.
Thanks, Johnny. Today will be mostly sunny on the slopes with a high near 47. Tonight, there will be a chance of snow showers with a low of 22. And tomorrow, the snow will continue before 4 o'clock with a high near 27. This report is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Shop can't miss deals going on now during Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. For a limited time, get a free adjustable stand when you buy a DeWalt 12-inch miter saw. That's a $229 value. Plus, save $680 on a Midea 4-piece kitchen appliance suite. Now just $17.96. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid 1/13 through 1/24. Cannot be combined with additional discounts while supplies last. See store at Lowe's.com for more details and qualifying items.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back. May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
Call or text at 916-339-1140
on Sacktown Sports.
All right, here we go. Final half hour of this Friday. Jason Ross, Christopher Lott, and look who is here early.
That's right.
I mean, you're always here at this time.
That's right.
Always putting in the work. Mm-hmm. One, Alan Stiles.
Yes, I'm here.
What were you doing earlier when you were taking the picture of the on-air light?
Yes, I'm working on something.
You got something going.
I got something cooking.
I saw that. I go, oh, there's Alan. I go, what's he doing? And then it was right when it
was perfect timing.
And then I turned the light off.
I know, but it worked.
Did that help for the video?
Yeah.
I was like, he's trying to get the on-air light on. So I'm like, I'm going to mess with him. But it helped.
It was, I don't know if it helped, but it was long enough.
Okay.
Yes,
yeah, you were there for a while.
Right.
So it's something we can expect later.
Yes. I'm dipping into new content in 20. I'm the content king. So,
yes, and the hit king.
That and the hit doctor, and I'm the fit doctor. I'm going to be doing lessons and training in Natoma soon.
Oh, it's all happening. It's all coming
the
together.
The hit doctor and the fit doctor.
Yeah. Are you liking the fit of your new head coach, Pete Carroll?
Man, I woke up.
I was surprised by that.
I saw it, and I thought initially just because there was some stuff with the Niners, I thought he was defensive coordinator. Then I remembered, the Raiders don't have a head coach, so he's the head coach. And the Raiders, man, they are just, it's crazy because guys take a year off and they just look better for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll, Bill Belichick couldn't find a job last season when they,
wanted jobs.
Right. Their historic careers ended. You take a year off, you figure out some of the new guys actually stink or, these dudes might have something left in the tank. As far as the Raiders are concerned, Jason, it's funny. Kyle and Whitey, they'll get on me because I bring up relationship stuff a lot, and they like to joke about who hurt you in your past. But it is
the Raiders.
But if that's true, the Raiders. I mean, they just have no type, right? I mean, you watch some of these dating shows. Hey, I like whatever your type. The Raiders have absolutely no type, zero type at all, and that's the most dangerous person to me.
I was talking about their division now. I mean, think about that, like age and success of Peyton, Harbaugh, Reed, and Carroll.
Kind of crazy. And
when a lot of the others are going super young.
Right. You still have no quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of work ahead of him.
Whoever the OC is, I mean, that's the biggest decision. He'll get that defense right. The defense was already headed in the right direction because, Antonio Pierce did a great job with the defense. But, yeah, I'm very worried about the offense. I'll put it to you like that.
Bring in Brady. Just bring them all back. Brady, do QB, call the games on Fox, be the owner.
Devontae Adams said he would, going into this season when he was still with the Raiders, he said he wanted Brady.
Tom Brady.
Yeah, over whoever the Raiders, Gardner Minshew and the crew. Yeah. I saw Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders working out together. I don't know if the Raiders are going to figure something out because Derek Carr, there is rumored to be talking to the Giants. So they might decide to go the used car route.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
I don't know if I love Shedeur will be fine. I think Cam Ward is kind of intriguing.
I feel like we've seen Cam Ward's before and it hasn't worked out.
Yeah.
Right. This electric QB and this air raid offense.
Just a good college guy.
Right.
Yeah.
And that, you know what? And I've owned this a couple times. That's what I was worried about with Jaden Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
And
so far,
so far I'm wrong.
Yeah. He's
so
been
far.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Well, I know we don't always have you in this early, which we appreciate. What's coming up today on your show?
So I don't know if you've seen this, Jason, but we're going to give this man, this guy has been a friend of the show for a while. And I don't know what happened. It started it started before Deuce and Mo, but on the pregame show or postgame, Deuce threw a shot at Evan Sidery of Forbes Sports. Evan's been on the show multiple times, and I have a relationship with Evan. Anybody. I'm the midday show, right? Whoever's willing to come on my show,
you're welcome all.
I'm gonna defend them and give them a chance. So Evan is gonna be on, I believe, at 1:00, and we're gonna ask him what is going on with the Sacramento beef and get his updates on the Cam Johnson stuff, everything like that. That's at 1:00. We're gonna talk about Doug Christie. We had this question: what's Doug Christie's worst loss?
Well, he only has 3.
Right.
Yeah.
And me and Kyle were going back and forth. Is it somehow the Laker game?
To start it out, which is probably the most difficult. Like, that made 100% sense why they lost.
Yeah. So obviously a lot of talk there. I've actually got into it a little bit with the roundtable guys, Chris Watkins, Brenden, and Frankie's in it. I feel bad removing. I don't want to start a separate chat, even though Frankie, he can still talk things. He's not working. But we had a back and forth about the De'Aaron thing and the finger, what we expect from him. Does it matter if he says something? So, just some question marks there, because did it get worse? I don't know.
Right.
It happened. We looked this up, or Kyle looked this up. We were talking about this. It happened in training camp.
Yeah. No, he's been playing with this.
So, but did it get worse, though?
Right. It's a fair question.
Right. So a lot. It's going to be a fun Friday.
Yeah. And before we get to celebrity birthdays, do you have a preference? Do you have a player you say, this player is who I would like on the King? Like,
I'm so tired. I have Cam Johnson fatigue. I'll tell you that much. I'm if you're going to do it, just do it. As far as who I would like, I'll take John Collins. Trey Lyles had a good game last night, but him 8-9 is better than 7-8. That's where we're at. So I would probably say John Collins, because if everybody is afraid of giving up what it's going to take for Cam Johnson, just pay a little bit more and get John Collins. Yeah, that's where I'm at. What about you?
I like Cam more than Collins. I think Collins is going to take more to get. I just think Danny Ainge's reputation. I'm almost more on the edges, like a Valanciunas, just for bench depth and roll it. Like, I don't think it's a championship team, but I also don't think I don't want to compromise too much of their future. I think they're set up pretty well to still be good for a while.
Go get Larry Nance. Why not?
That's fine.
Go get Larry Nance. And Kyle keeps roasting me about Obi Toppin. Go get Obi Toppin. I don't care.
Why not? Add to it. All right, let's do it. Let's get some celebrity birthdays before we get to Friday Fun and Games. Birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends, and nothing brings family and friends together better than crumble cookies. All right, happy birthday today, guys, to Neil Diamond.
Ooh. Neil Diamond is 83. Coming to yeah!
Neil Crystal and Billy Diamond?
Yes.
Wait. It was Neil Diamond. You said 83?
You confused yourself.
81.
Can we retire with Sweet Caroline now, too? Can we just stop that?
Yeah.
It's at 85.
He's 84. Man. Closer. Happy birthday to Ed Helms.
I want to say he is 51.
Ed Helms is 50 on the nose.
We have a correct answer. Ed Helms is 51. Let's get some birthdays this weekend. Happy birthday to Alicia Keys.
Ooh.
Did she retire?
Now here's a girl.
That can play that piano.
She is 45.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I'm going to say 47.
Chris is closer, 44.
You think you could beat me with Alicia Keys knowledge?
Yeah, no, I don't.
Patrick Willis.
Now, here's a linebacker that'll knock you out. Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm first?
Somebody.
41.
No. 42.
No. 40 for Patrick Willis.
I am
Chris.
just...
Come on, Al. We got to get you going.
Man.
How about Vince Carter?
Vince, half man, half amazing. Vince Carter.
This weekend.
He played for so dang long. It's kind of hard. Is he 40? 40?
What?
He played until he was, I don't know.
I'm going to say Vince Carter is 47.
What?
Vince Carter today is 47. He is turning 48, so good job, Chris. Yeah, he played till he was like 42, I think.
You think he's the same age as me?
Half man, half amazing.
Yes. Happy birthday.
40? That means he was like 15 when he won the dunk contest.
Happy birthday to the great one, Wayne Gretzky.
Here's a goal.
With a wife that likes to bet.
Chris, go.
I'm going to say
Gotta get Allen one.
The great one is 58. You should know because of Mighty Ducks 2.
What? 55 seems too young. 60.
I think you're right.
Allen's closer. We got you one.
Yes.
64 for Wayne Gretzky. Let's do one more. Let's go with Manti Te'o. How old is he
It's his
turning?
anniversary.
If it's his real.
Him and his girlfriends. Did you watch that? I know we got it.
I did
Yes. Chris?
He is 34. No. He's 32.
Part of the last time Notre Dame went and lost.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're right, Chris. But
He changed to 32.
You said 32. I think you were right because, 34.
We have a correct answer. 34.
Yeah.
I wanted to give you one.
There you go.
Right.
All right, break time for us. We'll end it up with a Friday fun of games coming your way next.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sacktown Sports 1140.
What's up? We're talking again to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Chad, tell us what's happening for the Start Something New sales event.
Check out the world of electric when you lease a new 2024 Dodge Hornet RT Plus plug-in for as low as $99 a month for 24 months with $39.95 due at signing. And these things get 77 MPGE. My sister has one and she loves it.
Wow, that's 3 times the miles per gallon of my car.
It is pretty impressive how much money you can save at the pump. But we also have a huge selection of used cars at the Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter with over 200 vehicles available and 40 under $20,000.
See their full selection at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
Lease of $99 for 24 months is before tax and license. Must be California resident. Includes $6,500 SFS hybrid electric federal tax credit and $2,500 West SFS lease cash. Must finance through Stellantis. $39.95 due at signing. 7,500 miles per year. 30 cents per mile over. Tax and license extra. 7th is net savings. Sample MSRP 51,370 VIN A20366. See dealer for details.
Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Don't miss the excitement of 49ers game day. Secure your spot at Levi's Stadium for the 2025 season.
20, one block and he's in.
Season tickets are available now. Inventory is limited, so to speak with a representative, call 415-GO-49ers.
Touchdown!
That's 415-GO-49ers.
San Francisco!
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the ultimate lunch lineup boasts wall-to-wall sports and scenic views. When you're hungry and in a hurry, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Dunks, threes, buzzer beaters. There's so much NBA happening. I gotta keep up.
Easy there. There's a better way to NBA with the NBA app.
Wait, really?
Follow your favorite teams and the league's brightest stars. Be on the ball with real-time stats and scores.
Yeah?
And go behind all the drama with new docs and shows.
Are you kidding?
Catch every swish, dunk, and bucket. All of this, all in one place, all for free.
Thank you.
There's a better way to NBA. Download the app today. Available on the Google Play, Apple app, and Android stores.
Make a smarter resolution this year. Grab the keys to a new Toyota hybrid and turn everyday drives into exciting adventures. Now is the time to shop great deals. Choose between 16 Toyota hybrid models from the longest lasting brand on the road. Every new Toyota includes Toyota Care, 2 years of complimentary scheduled maintenance. Go further with more MPG in a new Toyota hybrid.
Grab the keys, come on, let's go.
Toyota, let's go places.
We have finally made it to Friday
Let's end your week the right way with Friday Fun and Games.
on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
All right. We are closing in on Alan Styles. Your show coming up at 10. Jam-packed show.
Very,
Get ready for
very
Evan Sidery.
yes, that's right.
Yeah.
It's going to be a movie as Carlin D. Towns face him on
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. I saw the ladder come out. It was crazy how Domantas Sabonis was on the NBA ladder. Basically,
MVP ladder?
Yeah, the MVP ladder all season last season, and he is not on it this season. But he's arguably having a better season.
Yeah. I know. There's a lot of guys like that. Like, I wonder if Sabonis, he's going to be right on the edge for the All-Star team. I think he's going to make it, but he may not. But he's could end up All-NBA again.
Right.
Like that kind of thing. You're like, it's whatever. It's part of the
What did you feel? I saw some Kings people kind of saying how is Steph Curry a starter and De'Aaron Nada, probably isn't going to make the team. I would say the Steph Curry slander is probably valid, but there's probably other guards that have a better argument of being snubbed in the West.
Yeah,
before De'Aaron.
The first part to the starters is fans vote, right? And part of it, and a certain other percentage, but it's in San Francisco. Like that makes sense to me. Steph's a regular now. Where some of the guards maybe get the benefit is Luka's injury, because he would normally be there, and I don't know that he gets in.
Oh yeah, he's a big boy.
So we'll see. But Sabonis kind of in that numbers game. Wembanyama, Şengün, Anthony Davis, Jaren Jackson.
Right. It's the way I kind of see it as it's some combination of Jaren Jackson, Şengün, and Sabonis, like two of those guys. But all three are not getting it.
Right. So who's the one?
Or maybe only one of them is getting it. I don't know.
And part of it then for Houston and Memphis, if it's not Ja, then how does Memphis not have a representative?
Right.
And if it's not Jalen Green, how does Houston not have a representative?
Right.
We shall see. All right. Well, let's do it, guys. Where'd Kyle go? Is he not ready to participate?
Kyle, you're part of this.
Yeah. Oh, he's over there. Yeah. Friday Fun and Games. We need another entry here.
Kyle.
All right. So we played this before. We're going to do it again. It's Wavelength. We did well last time.
Okay.
Again, to explain to our audience how Wavelength works, we're going to pick a number between 1 and 10 for the person that's participating.
We might be able to get one in.
Only one? All right. We'll have Alan be the you want to be the Wavelength person, or do you want to rather be
I'll do it.
You'll do it?
I'll do it.
Okay, so we're going to say a number. We're going to show the audience on YouTube, and maybe Alan, take your headsets off so we can tell the audience as well. I'll go ahead and pick the number. We're going to go with, you guys see the number?
Appears to be 8.
Okay, there you go. We've set
Okay, now I need another reminder. I'm sorry, but
yeah, you can go, Alan.
Go out.
High
You
is
put the head.
high is good.
So 1 to 10, 10 would be the best.
Okay.
1 is the worst. So when Alan asks,
I'm
us the
sorry,
question-
I'm the idiot that thinks the number 1 team is the best team.
Yeah, so we've said the number, and we are going to try to give our answers to Alan's questions to fit what that number is to see if he can guess the number that we're on the same wavelength. So go ahead, Alan. You can go ask whatever you'd like.
Give this, let's say, Chris Verlade. Give this to me in the form of a fast food restaurant.
I will say Chipotle.
Depends. Can I ask, do you like Chipotle or not?
No leading of a witness.
Okay.
So you can ask Kyle or myself.
Man, I thought you were going to give me 90s kids movie, but all right.
I like the vinaigrette. Kyle, give this to me in the form of a cookie.
Chocolate chip.
Oh, that's a big cookie. Jason,
yes.
Give this to me in the form of a, let's see here. I like doing fun stuff. Give this to me in the form of a soda.
A soda? Yeah, let's go with Coca-Cola.
Oh, I mean, guys, what are we talking about?
What are you feeling?
Here?
Any more questions?
I mean, it's 8 or up.
Okay. So what number are you landing on?
It's 8 or up. There's no way you guys did 10. I'm going to say 9.
Pretty good. It was 8.
It was 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know where to go with the soda.
See, I was gonna. If you went with, I had it all set up. I was like, oh, Alan's gonna ask '90s movies, and I would have said heavyweights.
That's a 9.
That's
a 9 to me. Come on, Ben Stiller's walking on glass. That's a 9.
What's an 8?
An 8? Big Green.
Okay.
Oh, no way. Big Green's like a 6.
Do we have time?
Oh, come on.
No? Quick round or no?
Very quick.
Quickie.
All right. Who wants to go?
I'll go.
Okay. So, Chris, don't pay attention. We'll, Alan, you pick the number. Okay, the number is 5. Okay, Chris, you're good? Chris, go ahead.
Alan, give me this in a 90s movie.
A 90s movie would be, I know we got to go quick, Lion King 2.
Oh, okay. All right. I know where we're going here. Kyle, give this to me in a NFL team.
Miami Dolphins.
All right. Jason, SNL alumni.
Okay, come on. Let's go with Chris Parnell.
I am going to say a 4.
Oh,
5. Chris Parnell's a solid 5. He's confused me with the Lion King 2. Automatically, I'm like, okay, 2.
I should have said Aladdin 2.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I would have accepted that.
Now we're there. Now we're on the wavelength. All right. Thank you guys for all listening today. Thank you to Brenden Nunes for joining us. For Christopher Laud, I'm Jason Ross. Alan Stiles coming your way next.
Malik Monk plays here.
Left, goes right, steps back, launches the